Good evening, football fans. Welcome to the Dog Yard, home of the Lutcher Bulldogs, for tonight's second round playoff game between the Wossman Wildcats from Monroe
From the Dog Pond here in Lutcher, Louisiana, the First NBC Bank Prep Showcase is on the air. This is SportsNOLA Prep Sports on SportsNOLA, featured by First NBC Bank. Ken Berthelot, along with Coach Wayde Keiser. Terrence Jones, former Lutcher quarterback, is going to join us a little bit later on for some comments on the game. And we're excited about this one because it is a round 2 playoff. I think they call it the regional round of the playoffs. 2 winners last week. Wossman from Monroe and Lutcher from right here in Lutcher, Louisiana, meeting now as they did 1 year ago. And 1 year ago, you had a 1 seed in Lutcher playing a 16 seed in Wossman, and it was all Lutcher in that ball game as they won it 44-6 with no scoring in the second half. But it was also 6 turnovers a year ago by this Wossman team. So, Wade, I would think that this year this Wossman team is going to come in here and go, you know, that was a fluke last year. We're a much better team. We've got better players this year. You're going to see a different Wossman team on the field against Lutcher this year.
Well, Wossman is a 13 seed coming into this ball game. They're 7-3 overall coming off of their schedule. Llast week they beat Union Parish in the first round of the playoffs, the bye district round, 26-22. And I would have to think they're a year older. They're a year more mature. They're extremely athletic. So part of their game plan tonight is, number one, don't give up the ball.
Yeah, don't turn it over. Don't do what happened last year. And if they don't, they've got a real good opportunity to, with the team they have, give Lutcher the game of their life and maybe upset the Bulldogs. We will see. Interestingly enough, the seedings this year a little bit different than last year, where you had a 1 and a 16. You've got a 4 and a 13 this year. Lutcher being the 4 seed, Wossman being the 13 seed, and either one of these schools, whichever one wins, knows who their opponent will be next week.
Well, it's going to be Marksville. Last night up in northern Louisiana, many games took place because of the expected weather coming through right now as we're speaking up in that part of our state, and they decided to go ahead and play Thursday. Many teams played Thursday from the Monroe area over the Shreveport area in order to beat the cold wind and rain that's moving through there right now. So they will have Marksville, who is the number 5 seed on the bracket in AAA, who last night beat Carroll 38-22.
Now, who would be the home team if Lutcher, and then who would be the home team if Wossman was to win this game tonight?
If Lutcher wins this football game tonight, they'll be the home team because they are the higher seed. Okay? If Wossman was to win this game tonight, they would probably be on, the way I understand it, would be on the road to Marksville would be on the road to Wossman, since Wossman was the team that traveled last.
So there you have it. Our officials are from the New Orleans Association, and Paul LaRosa is the referee for this one tonight.
As she is commanding the American flag.
Interestingly enough, in this game, as you look at schools that look for different ways to motivate players, last week, the Lutcher Bulldogs and Coach Dwayne Jenkins looking for a way to motivate his team. Well, let's see if we can squeeze the rest of this story in before they start the national anthem. Had his team come out to warm up in all purple. Then when they went back into the locker room, they had these gray uniforms with these dark numbers outlined in gold. And the team went absolutely crazy. Kids love those kind of uniforms. They got all fired up. They came out. They won the game. They beat Avoyelles 28-0. And because they did well in those uniforms, they're wearing them again tonight.
Well, kids love those sort of things when you come out and you go to the different style of uniforms, especially when it's new. You haven't seen it before. It's the old Notre Dame effect, going in the locker room and changing into the different colored jersey. It's kids love those sort of things, so it's a great motivator, and they're in them again tonight.
From Lutcher, Louisiana, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Our national anthem here at the Dog Pond on the campus of Lutcher High School in Lutcher, Louisiana. The Lutcher Bulldogs won the toss. They deferred their option till the second half. So Wossman, the Wildcats, will have the football to start things. And you're going to see two of the most exciting players in high school football in Zach Smith and Jatarius Peanut Turpin, because both of those young men can do some magnificent things with the football, either behind center or out in open space. You can throw to them, you can hand off to them. They will take the direct snap, and they can just light it up and turn the tide of a game so quickly that the Lutcher Bulldogs are aware that's the key players for them to stop. As a matter of fact, Wayde, as we look at these schools, Coach Dean Smith of the Wossman Wildcats come in 8-3. Coach Dwayne Jenkins of the Lutcher Bulldogs, they come in with one more win, 9-2. Of course, they are the defending state champions. And last year we teased Coach Tim Detillier, who retired after that not only could he say he was the state champion of the non-select, he also beat De La Salle in the last regular season game of the year, so he won the select division state championship too, if you'd like to say that.
Well, you know, you've got your select and your non-select. That's what's going on. That's the state of the union right now in our state. And you're right. We did that De La Salle game last year and saw a really explosive Lutcher team.
The Wossman with Ewing on the return will get it to the 20-yard line, and we'll see the Wildcat offense come into play. And once again, you're going to see Zach Smith, Turpin, and Devonta Ellis as key
on the return
players that really make this offense go, and they can do it on the ground, they can do it in the air. Wossman is wearing their solid white uniforms and dark headgear. Lutcher is in their gold headgear and gray jerseys and gray pants. Makes it a little difficult on some of the fans and the broadcasters, but we'll have it for you folks right here. We've got a one-camera video stream. We can show selected replays. We hope to show you as many as we can possibly get. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Little fake pump. And now the toss out. A completed pass to Jatarius Turpin from Zach Smith. Zach Smith playing your quarterback slot. Turpin, Ellis on the outside. And first down play gets 6 yards. So it's second down and 4 from the 26-yard line for the Wossman Wildcats.
They motion across. Turpin motions across, and he comes out into the flat, and they throw the screen out there to him. And coming up and making a nice play was Zane McCrary from Lutcher, making a nice tackle on the boundary.
They work well from this shotgun offense. This will be very close, but 1 yard short of a first down on a second down run by Devontae Ellis, with the tackle made by Rashawn Preston.
Rashawn Preston, outstanding linebacker. He's the tackle leader for the Bulldogs. I tell you what, he's all over the field. We saw him a few weeks back when they played St. James for the big parish rivalry there, and he had a great night that night.
From that 29.
Jared Johnson coming into the game in a running back slot
on
third down 1 from the 29-yard line. Opening possession of the game. Big playoff game, round 2. See who advances to the quarterfinals. Quarterback keeper all the way. Good second effort. Lutcher had him stopped in just a hard drive for the first down. Great run and effort by Zach Smith, the senior.
Tell you what, quarterback draw right there. It was run all the way, and he was stopped right there by Ethan Bland, who did a nice job coming up to make his play. You can see it on the replay right here. Quarterback's going to get the snap, and it's going to isolate up onto the linebacker right there by leading the running back through to the linebacker, and you can see Zach Smith driving hard to pick up that first down.
From the 33-yard line, drive started on the 20. Oh, look at that keeper. Nice move to the outside by Smith, and he's got another first down with a 10-yard gain to the 43-yard line. Stop made by Rowdy Scott.
Here's a good look at it again. He's going to take the ball. He's going to sprint to his right to move the pocket. You're going to see the turn protection by the offensive line. They're going to all turn to their right, sprinting out Zach Smith. He gets onto the edge. Nothing open. What he decides to do is become the second threat, which is his run threat, and he gets right to the first down marker and sets a new set of downs for the Wildcats.
Opening drive, Wossman using a slow, controlled drive. A little mix-up on the handoff, so Smith will keep it around the right side and get something out of it to the 45-yard line. A gain of 2. Kaween Higgins with the tackle.
Coming up from his safety position to make that tackle, Kaween Higgins definitely makes an ankle tackle right there to keep Smith from picking up extra yardage. That was a zone read play where they were reading the last man on the line of scrimmage. He decides to disconnect from the running back and sprint around the right edge. And as we said, coming up and doing a nice job on that play, making that tackle, was Kaween Higgins.
Jonathan West is split wide to the bottom of your screen. He's been very quiet on this opening drive. 2nd down, 8 from the 45-yard line. 8 minutes and 53 seconds to play in the first quarter. And here's a nice throw up high, a little too high, over the intended receiver, West. So we said he had been quiet, and the Wossman Wildcat offense knew it. They wanted to get him involved in the offense.
Here's the replay on it. You can see the sail over the head of the receiver. Motion across the formation to try to get the secondary to rotate with the motion. Nobody moves. Just a little bit too much on that. Coming up and making a nice stick right there was that Lutcher defender.
You know, these players do get pumped up for these games, and sometimes you get a little too much juice flowing, but that does bring up a big 3rd down, 8 at their own 45-yard line. Smith coming out of the pocket, throws this one incomplete, almost intercepted. Wow, that was almost picked off by Rayshawn Preston. He may have gone the distance.
Rayshawn Preston wants that back.
Yeah.
I tell you what, right in his hands. Here's a good look at it. Again, trying to sprint out, move the pocket to his left. Ball's right through the hands of the intended receiver. Should have been picked right there. Would have been 6.
Now that brings up a punting situation. Zach Smith back to punt. Aldontre Davis is back. Now, whenever your quarterback is the punter, interesting things can happen, but he does punt this one away. Aldontre Davis lets it roll, and look at this great roll. My goodness, inside the 5, all the way down to the 3-yard line. Goodness gracious, you're talking about flipping the field. A 53-yard punt flips the field and backs the Lutcher Bulldogs up to their own 3-yard line. But we will see the Lutcher offense on the field for the first time at the 8:26 mark of this first quarter.
Well, first thing you got to do is you got to try to catch the ball. You don't want to let the ball hit the ground because bad things happen when the ball's on the ground, especially on a scrimmage kick like a punt. It's going to roll all the way down and put you right back with your back to your end zone in poor field position.
And I said 3. I think they're marking that at the 2-yard line. So the Bulldog offense needs to play very carefully here. Kirkland just goes straight ahead. I don't know if he had a problem with that ball or not, but he dives forward and just gets back to the line of scrimmage to the 2-yard line. Maybe lost a little bit, lost a yard on that play.
He gets the ball. He's going to fake the sweep, and I think he might have his feet. They'll get tangled up with the running back right there as he disconnects, and he's lucky that doesn't end up being a safety right there. He got the ball over the plane of the goal line, puts the ball down at the 1.
6-foot senior Jontre Kirkland in trouble in the end zone. Look at this, breaks a tackle and another, and it looked like he was going to be stuffed at the 1-yard line, and somehow Kirkland gets out near the 10-yard line. Picked up 8.
Kirkland will get the ball, and he'll sprint to his right. Great block right there on the corner. No place to throw the ball. What does he decide to do? He tucks it real quick and tries to get up the field as much yardage as he possibly can.
That brings up a 3rd down, 2. Bulldogs keep it on the ground, and this is across the 15 up to the 17-yard line. They will get the first down, and again, that's what a good running quarterback can do. Jontre Kirkland this year rushing for 650 yards coming into this game tonight.
Well, he's a dual-threat quarterback. He's thrown for over 1,800. He's rushed for over 600 yards. He averages 5.5 yards a carry when he runs.
And he's going to throw here, and it's a high leaping catch, and that's pulled down at the 30-yard line by Gregory Clayton, and that's going to be enough for another first down. Watch this Lutcher Bulldog team. They do a great job of mixing the pass and the run. Nick Webb with the tackle.
Here's a good look at it. He's going to get the ball on the snap. He's going to sprint to his left, and you're going to see, possibly in your picture, an out route right there, stopping on the boundary. Great catch going up and taking it out of the air. Had to leap up and get that above his head. Great athletic play.
Adams is the running back. Where's number 5? He is to the top side of your screen with Jontre Kirkland at quarterback. Kirkland turns, makes the quick throw. It is caught by Belvin. Tariq Belvin hit, fumbled on the ground. A scoop down to the 15, down to the 10, down to the 5. That's a scoop and score for the Wossman team. Jalen Jones, I believe, is the guy who gets it and takes it into the end zone.
Well, they throw the ball out there, and he has it. And I tell you what, you get the ball knocked out on the ground, and what ends up taking place, bad things happen. You get a great school and score right there by Jalen Jones.
You see the Jalen Jones of Kendrick Ward.
Picks the ball up and scoops and scores and puts Wossman on the board. Great athletic play. Ball needs to be able to be hung on to when it's thrown out there, and when you're in open field, things get punched out. We see that at all levels. We saw it last week with the Saints.
Wow, big scoop and score. And how's that for turning things over very quickly? Nick Traylor in to attempt the point after. It is put down well, kicked up, and it is no good. He missed it.
PAT is no good.
Missed it left.
With
6:33 to play here in the first quarter. Look at the replay.
You can see the ball is not secure. It gets knocked out by the tackler. He's swinging the arm away from his body. It should be, up high and tight against his rib pads and his rib cage, and it just wasn't. And you can see Jalen Jones just pick that ball up, scoop, and score for a big play for the Wossman Wildcats. It gets Wossman on the board in the first quarter real early off of a turnover where, as we talked earlier in the pregame show coming in, Wossman last year gave a lot of turnovers to Lutcher. Could this be a change of events for them here tonight?
Well, last year Wossman had 6 turnovers in the game, allowing Lutcher to take a 44-6 lead in the first half, and there was no scoring in the second half. That's how it stood. And this year, this Wossman team, according to Coach Dean Smith, they realized that ball protection was so very important. And not only did they protect the ball on their first offensive series, but they force a turnover with a good hard hit on Tariq Belvin's reception.
Right. Well, also the takeaway game. So they're +1 right now, and that's really important when you get into the playoffs.
And here's Belvin, who had that ball stripped. He goes right up the middle with 1, 2, 3 tackle breaks, and now they finally slow him down, and he's pushing the rugby scrum inside the 40 down to the 35-yard line. What a return by Tariq Belvin.
A little irritated that he put the ball on the ground. You can see him accelerate through. Great blocking by the guys in the gray jerseys and gold helmets, and you can see him pushing, refusing to go down. Great second effort right there by Belvin.
What a return by Tariq. Well, talk about making up for it. You say, well, I may have made a mistake, but guess what? I'm going to do something about it, and this young man did. So Lutcher has great field position at the Wossman 35-yard line. Jontre Kirkland at quarterback. Kirkland looking for the seam and just moves forward right in the middle of the line down to the 31-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 4.
Well, it's such a great weapon when your quarterback can run just like a running back can. They're running power quarterback, power O, if you want to call it. They're getting a kick out with the back. They wrap the backside guard around and let the quarterback establish everything up front, and then he hits the hole, and he is such a weapon.
Well, they're going to mark him down at the 32, a pickup of 3. Kirkland, this is a keeper all the way by the quarterback, and he is dragged down from behind by Charles Ellis as he gets inside the 30-yard line down to the 29-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and short, 3rd and about 4.
Again, Kirkland will ride the running back, it's no read. He's just pulling that ball out because they're pulling the backside guard around and leading him up into the hole. The hole was clogged up, so what does he do? He, as a good athlete, he looks for room to run. He bounces it to the outside to pick up extra yardage.
Jacoby Williams, usually a wide receiver, will play running back, is in there, but Kirkland takes it straight up the middle. He's pushing, and he's denied. Second effort, trying to get the extra yardage for the first down. He's got to get to that yard stripe. He's got to get to the 25-yard stripe, and they will blow the whistle just inside of it. You may have a measurement coming up here.
The Jonte Kirkland show right now.
No measurement.
Right. Jonte Kirkland right now is just taking over and controlling the offense of Lutcher. Everything he's doing is basically some sort of fake and keeping the ball off of the thing. Bringing up this 4th and short. Look for Jonte Kirkland again to keep the ball.
They're outside of the field goal kicker's range, so they will go on 4th and inches. Have a long count, probably try to draw Wossman offside. Let's see if the defense is disciplined. Kirkland, there's the snap. He cuts inside, has the seam, has the first down. He's inside the 20-yard line, down to the 19-yard line. And again, Jonte Kirkland, the quarterback, gets it done for the Bulldogs.
You're going to see Jonte Kirkland take it on the quarterback sweep to his right. Wossman is bringing an inside blitz, so all of their outside containment is gone inside. So what does Lutcher do? They take it outside, away from all of the rushing inside blitzers, and picks up the big first down.
4:04 to go in the first quarter. Here's a give straight ahead. They were waiting for Jacoby Williams, and he had nowhere to go. Hit the pile, was driven back by Jalen Jones. Boy, this has been the Jalen Jones show in the first quarter defensively.
Here we go, right here. You're going to get a look at it. The good handoff from Kirkland to Devon Adams. No place to go. You can see Jalen Jones come up and make a great fundamental tackle right there. That's the type of tackling you like to see from the coaching standpoint.
Cortez Ewing checks in at the safety spot, and one of the Wossman players go down hurt, and he's one of the important. Antonio Berry, just a defensive leader out there. He just went down. They were getting ready to snap the ball, and boom, he goes down.
Looked like a sniper got him. I mean, he was standing there 1 minute, and pop, he goes down the next minute. They're attending to the cramp, and if you've ever had a cramp in your calf like that or in your hamstring, it'll make you go down real fast. That's extremely painful. I've had teeth pulled, and it wasn't that painful as far as having a cramp like that.
But you're growing your hair back now that you
yes,
are not on the sidelines anymore.
Yes, I'm growing my hair back. And Paul LaRosa, our official tonight, would be one of the reasons why I lost some of my hair. And he would be smiling if he heard me say that. We go way back. What a great official he is, part of the New Orleans Association, who do a great job week in and week out, as well as all the officials around the state of Louisiana.
Wayde Keiser, last coaching position stop was at Jesuit. To give us a few of the other ones, fans listening will know some of the other places you've coached.
I was at Jesuit, Brother Martin prior to that. And prior to Brother Martin, I was at East St. John and St. Charles Catholic for 10 years.
Wayde Keiser. And we're happy to have him as an analyst where he can grow his hair back and not have to take the weekly fight to the official. Jonte Kirkland in trouble. Blitz was on, and they drop him for a big loss back at the 30-yard line. A 10.5-yard loss, and everybody came. The blitz was on.
Wossman is going to bring people all the time. They're always going to bring 4, 5, sometimes 6. So right here, they're bringing them off the edge. They're bringing them inside. 6 people on the blitz. Nobody accounts for, off of the right edge, the Wossman defender coming in there and sacking Jonte Kirkland. Kirkland didn't even have a chance to set his feet and throw the ball.
2:45 to play in the first quarter. Third down and forever. 3rd and 21. Passing situation. Kirkland throws it down low. Had a man, and that was Clayton, but was 2 yards in front of Clayton down into the turf here at the dog pond. So that brings up 4th down.
Here's a good look at it. He's going to sprint to his right, and he's going to put the ball right at the feet of the intended receiver. Great protection right there. He gets a chance to set his feet, but not a very good throw. It's going to bring up 4th down, and this is going to be 4-down territory. They do not have a kicker that can kick a 40-yard field goal, so they're going to have to go for it right here, and be interesting to see what they do and how they'll play Jonte Kirkland. Will they sprint him out again against the blitzing Wossman Wildcats? Or are they going to sit him in the pocket or possibly run some sort of zone read with him?
Lutcher's field goal range would be the 25-yard line in. The longest field goal of the year is a 36-yard field goal, so that would be from the 26, and that is for Alec Bland, the Lutcher kicker. So timeout called by Lutcher. 2 minutes and 31 seconds to play here in the first quarter. And Wossman is leading 6-0. They missed an extra point on a scoop and score, a pass that was high. Tyreek Belvin went way up for it, pulled it down, was hit hard on the way down. He fumbled it, and then it was scooped up by Jalen Jones and taken into the end zone for a touchdown. But the extra point was wide to the left, and it is 6-0 Wossman. However, we have the Lutcher Bulldogs threatening with 2:31 to play first quarter. Wade?
Well,
what are they going to do?
They're going to have to run some sort of route where they're going to have to be able to catch it and run for the sticks. Whereas Jonte Kirkland could definitely throw this far. He's going to have to throw something. We're going to be able to get open against the man coverage of Wossman, try to get some separation, get it to the receiver quickly, and allow him to run to pick up the sticks.
From the 29-yard line, Kirkland has time, flushed out of the pocket. He'll throw long into the end zone, has a man down there. It's caught. Touchdown! My goodness, what a catch by Jacoby Williams. Jacoby Williams, his 4th touchdown catch of the year. A 29-yard strike.
Well, Jonte Kirkland is the one that makes that play happen. He evades the rush, he keeps the play alive, moves to a left, and sees a wide open Jacoby Williams running in the back of the end zone along the back end zone line. And I tell you what, a strike is thrown by Jonte Kirkland in the air for that touchdown.
Now the point after is kicked up and good. And on the toe of kicker Alec Bland, the Lutcher Bulldogs have taken a 7-6 lead over Wossman with 2:22 to play first quarter.
You can see a good look at Jonte Kirkland right there. Set his feet in the pocket, had nowhere to go as far as getting flushed out. He moves to his left, and he throws it to the back of the end zone for the big play to Jacoby Williams.
And remember, that entire drive was set up by a long kickoff return by Tyreek Belvin, who, as you stated, was probably inspired because he lost that football when he got hit coming down after leaping way up in the air to make the catch on a pass from Jonte Kirkland. Well, we've got a good one here, folks. Don't leave your computer screen, telephone, or if you're streaming to a TV, do not leave it. You have two very explosive football teams and two offenses that, if they continue to get going, you'll hear us talking about offenses going wild in a game like this.
Well, there's a lot of athletic talent all over this field in all skilled positions, offensively, defensively, everywhere. These guys can definitely get after it athletically.
Back deep for the Wildcats.
All right, so we got a return out to the 24-yard line. So they'll mark it at the 24. Wossman Wildcats with the football, trailing by an extra point. Zach Smith, your quarterback. Officials had to get the right ball in there, get it spotted. They're ready to go. Smith calls for it. See the wide receiver on the right side, Jarvis Robertson, or Roberson rather. And off, right in sweep. That's Jared Johnson. Got a few, but the Bulldogs shut that down quickly.
Johnson with the carry.
That was
Gudia.
That was Kenyon Gudia on that tackle coming up from his corner position. You can see a good replay of it right here. They're going to run the sweep to the left with Devontae Ellis right there. And then there's Gudia coming up, making a nice play, setting the edge, making sure that the running back does not get outside on the edge and makes a nice tackle.
Smith, screen, left side, Ellis. Devontae Ellis looking for somewhere to go, and he's thrown for a loss back at the 20-yard line. And all over that one was Marquand Williams.
Marquand Williams comes up from his safety position and makes a nice stick. You'll see it coming right here on the screen. They're going to try to throw the bubble screen to the number 3 receiver out of the trips. Here comes one missed tackle, but here comes the tackle right there coming from his safety position, making a great play.
Got to make it third down, 13 to go, a minute 11 to play first quarter, 1:11 to play first quarter. Smith being chased out of the pocket. Smith throws on the run, complete. Good break tackle, and then a knock out of bounds before picking up the first down on the far side.
Tell you what,
completed to Turpin.
Cade Williams comes through there, right through the left A gap, and makes a great effort chasing down Zach Smith. Zach Smith, before he could even get his eyes down the field, had Cade Williamson coming all over, applying the pressure and flushing him out of the pocket, pushing him into this 4th and 3.
Now, the game clock the play clock has 20 seconds on it. The first quarter game clock about 4 or 5 seconds behind it. So they're trying to let the play clock run down as much as possible here in the first quarter. There's 5 on the play clock right now, 9 on the game clock in the first quarter. And there is your delay of game. And they let this run down to 5 seconds, so I don't know whether you just plan on punting it out of bounds or what was the strategy there, Wade?
Well, first they had to get their personnel on the field.
Yes.
Illegal substitution call against the Bulldogs.
All right, illegal substitution against the Bulldogs on the play, which is going to give them the first down.
Against Lutcher. Yeah.
Against Lutcher, and either one of two things happened. They didn't get people on the field right, or they had 12 on the field, which was probably what took place, and it's going to move it 5 yards forward for the Wildcats, which is going to give them the first down. That's a mistake Lutcher does not want to make again.
And with that, the first quarter clock runs out, so all of that moving people on and off the field and switching personnel by Wossman turned out to work in their advantage because Lutcher trying to react was called for the penalty, and it'll be Wossman ball when we come back. We'll take a quick 30-second break and be right back after 1 quarter of play here at the Dog Pound in Lutcher. 7-6, the Lutcher Bulldogs lead by an extra point over the Wossman Wildcats. Back right after this. All right, we're ready for second quarter play from Lutcher, Louisiana, the Dog Pound. Ken Berthelot, Wayde Keiser. Chip and Nat working with us on the computer and the camera today. And we have had a good first quarter. Second quarter ready to go at the 36-yard line. First down, 10. Look at this hole right up the middle, and busting right through it is Jared Johnson, the running back. First down, Jared Johnson. First down, Wossman.
Jared Johnson hits the inside zone. You'll see it on our replay here. Nice handoff, great blocking by that Wossman front. Everybody's going to zone step to their left. Going to create a nice inside crease right there, and you can see him take off like a jet right there to pick up that first down. I like how he runs low, gets his shoulder pad down. He wants to deliver punishment, rather take punishment. That's the sign of an outstanding running back.
Now watch what happens on this drive for Wossman, because, again, it's a Lutcher penalty on that fourth down that allowed this drive to continue. And here's the gift to Ellis. Ellis around the right side, turns the corner, tries to break a tackle, dives forward. He's to the 45-yard line of the Bulldogs, 2 yards short of a first down. Opening moments of the second quarter.
They motion Ellis into the backfield from a slot position. He pauses for a second, and they hand off to him running to his right on a sweep. You can see getting out in front of him some of the big Wildcat offensive linemen do a nice job out there running interference, especially number 61, Otego Carter, getting out there applying the interference so Ellis can pick up nice yardage.
Have to be impressed with Zach Smith, the quarterback. He is a commit to Jackson State. And they're going to love this young man when they get him, because you haven't seen anything yet of what he can do with the football. He's going to keep this one all the way tucks his head under and gets the first down over his left tackle at the 41-yard line of the Bulldogs. First and 10, Wossman.
Controlling the line of scrimmage right there is the Wossman offensive line, allowing Zach Smith to run the inside quarterback. I guess we're going to call it Power O, where they're going to kick out with the back, wrap with the guard, as I explained earlier. He's just another running back acting as a tailback playing quarterback. He can use his feet. He can use his arm. He's a dual-threat quarterback that Jackson State's really going to like.
Yeah, he took over this offense for a young man who's playing at LSU right now, Cam Lewis. There's a handoff to Jatarius Turpin, the sophomore, and he just spins and hits the line backwards and gets one. Keiron Goudia on the tackle.
Keiron Goudia coming from his linebacker position, also coming up, making a nice play. You're going to see it's a quarterback sweep to Zach Smith's left. There's the lead blocker. Misses the block. No place to go. A lot of gray jerseys and gold helmets meeting him right there in the hole.
Second down 10 at the Lutcher 42-yard line. This is where Zach Smith is so dangerous, because when he moves in the pocket like he's doing now and throws on the run, he's got lots of time to pick and find an open receiver like he did right there to Jonathan West, and that'll be another first down on the Jonathan West catch. And they're going to spot that ball at the 30-yard line. First down.
Zach Smith rolls to his right. He's going to see Jonathan West sitting right on the boundary underneath all of the zone coverage from Lutcher. Nice throw, nice strike, nice catch, nice first down.
Got the 11-yard gain on that one. And Wossman has put together an impressive drive that it looked like was going to have to be punted away. But again, right before the end of the first quarter, they went into all of that rigmarole of substituting people. Look at the tackle break. 1, 2, and Jared Johnson pushes down to the 22-yard line, just short of another first down.
Right now, that Wossman offensive line is just being a lot more physical than that Bulldog offensive line. You can see him come off the ball right here, and Jarius Johnson being able to get inside the zone again. And look at him. Break tackles, duck his shoulders, run hard. Right now, it's just a little bit more physical for the Wossman Wildcats at this stage of the game. These guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, left tackle Vincent Johnson, left guard Jacoby Turner, center Josh Jones, right guard Ortego Carter, and right tackle Tavian Anthony. There's a keeper all the way by Smith. Look at that seam. He finds it. He slithers right through it. Another first down at the 15-yard line.
Running the Power O again by the quarterback. As I said, he's just another tailback back there when he gets the ball in his hands. You'll see it right here. He gets the snap. There goes the lead block. There comes the guard wrapping around. And there goes Zach Smith wrapping up inside, picking up a first down, sustaining this drive, eating clock, controlling the line of scrimmage.
Well, the Wildcats were asking their fans to make a little noise, and the Lutcher fans respond, and they make noise, too, for their defense. Johnson, left side, dragged to the ground, and what a stick that was by Thaddeus Wattis.
Thaddeus Wattis blitzes from his linebacker position, does a nice job stepping up and making the tackle. You'll see it on the replay right here. Watch Wattis fly through here and make this nice tackle in the backfield. There he comes on the blitz. Whap! Hello, Thaddeus Wattis.
Now the Bulldogs needed a big defensive play to garner a little momentum on this drive. They got it right there. Let's see if they can sustain it. But right now, on this drive, this Wossman offense has almost been unstoppable. 7:55 to play in the first half. It is second down 9 at the 14-yard line in the red zone. Wildcats are threatening. There's the fake. Now Smith on the run. He's just going to throw that one away. Closest man to it was Peanut Turpin, but that was a throwaway all the way.
They're trying to set up the zone to the second receiver in the trips formation, a little wide receiver, a slot screen. And I tell you what, Lutcher does a great job on that, defending it. They immediately recognize the quick screen out there. They charge the quick screen. He gets into the passing lane. Then what happens? Zach Smith makes a very nice decision to throw the ball away for the incomplete pass.
This is a Wildcats timeout. Go ahead.
Had he thrown that ball, Ken, it would have probably been pick six for Lutcher. So credit Lutcher defense on a nice play. Credit Zach Smith for not making a mistake, throwing the ball away, come back and play third down. Timeout, I think, by Wossman.
Here's a here's a question for a coach. And we talked about last year, and again, a 16-seed Wossman comes in to play a 1-seed Lutcher. They're playing here, and Wossman turns the ball over 6 times. So far tonight, Wossman has not made a mistake. They have not heard a penalty that's hurt them. They have not, I don't think they've had a penalty in the game. They have not turned it over. They've forced a turnover and got a scoop and score on it for a touchdown. And then because of some interesting and legal, again, substitution of personnel, they got Lutcher on 4th and 1 to have an illegal substitution penalty, which kept this drive alive. And now here we go on 3rd down and 9 at the 14-yard line. This could be 4-down territory. Smith waiting for the call, and somebody moved.
On the play.
I think we've got a Wossman offensive lineman that moved a little bit early.
Against the Wildcats.
They should be marking it off against the Wildcats, as we saw Paul LaRosa show the illegal procedure sign.
14.
That's what you don't want to have inside the red zone, where it's going to put you 3rd and 14 from the 19-yard line to be able to have this type of play now.
And I just said that this team has not hurt themselves tonight with anything like that, and that's the first time they really have in this first half.
You should have knocked on wood when you said that.
Well, let me do. Okay, you can hear it, folks. You heard I was knocking on wood. I hope that wasn't too late. The old announcer jinx. Yeah, I should have been smarter than that. 3rd down, 14 at the 19. They're going to put it in the hands of Ellis. Ellis up the middle, can't find the space. Now they can take a field goal now. They've got a pretty good leg on Nick Traylor, and they're within his range. So let's see if they try to take the lead. The Wildcats try to take the lead with a field goal. Traylor is on the field. He is a freshman field goal kicker. Has good leg. They're going to place this down right at the 20-yard line. So this will be a 30-yard field goal from the left hash mark. So he's got a bit of an angle. Waiting for the snap. Down low. Placed up. There's the kick. And it is good. So he may have missed an extra point earlier tonight, but he makes up for it with a 30-yard field goal. And Wossman has taken the lead 9-7 with 6 minutes and 51 seconds to play in the first half of this game.
Tell you what I like about that kick. It's a straight-on kick, Ken. Did you notice that? 1-2 straight on from the toe.
That's true.
When's the last time you've seen that?
Wait, I've got to really roll back the clock now. Tom Dempsey.
Well, I mean, I've seen one since then, but you just don't see too many of those anymore. It doesn't matter how you get it through those uprights, as long as it is from a scrimmage kick, the ball touches the ground, which is on the tee, legal in high school, and it makes it through the uprights. You can drop kick it, or you can put it on the tee, on a scrimmage kick like there, and you know what? It counts for 3 points.
Remember this, that drive was kept alive on 4th and 1, and without the Lutcher penalty, the Bulldogs would have had the football. So I always like to see how these drives are kept alive. The Lutcher score set up by a great long 50, 60-yard kickoff return by Tyreek Belvin right after the Wossman score. Well, we've got a good one, 9-7. Wossman back in the lead. And the Wildcats, wearing their white uniforms, will kick it short. Squib kick it, picked up at the 36-yard line. And a return on the Wildcat side of the 50 by Jacoby Williams on the return.
You can see the replay, squib. I don't know if it's so much a squib as he might have missed the ball. Short, the up back gets it, picks it up, accelerates, and it's going to put Lutcher in great field position on the Wossman side of the field. This is the second time this is going to take place tonight. Wossman's going to have to shore up that kicking team a little bit, or this could happen all night to them.
Well, both of these teams are way too explosive and have just great skill position players to have any type of an error in the kicking game itself. Straight ahead, John Trey Kirkland, he'll keep and gets 5 going up the middle.
Chantre Kirkland was using a run-pass option right there, RPO. He looked up to see if Aldontre Davis, who was setting up for a quick screen out to his right, was open. It was covered by Wossman real well. What does he do? He tucks the ball and takes it up inside and runs the ball. It was a run-pass option. If it isn't there, run the ball.
3 of your top receivers to the top of the screen, 2 to the bottom, empty backfield. Let's see if Wossman brings some pressure on 2nd down 5 at the 42. He's going to get that ball off quick. It's caught and incomplete. Incomplete pass, they're ruling.
There's no better place for Aldontre Davis to catch that ball except in his hands. Put right on the money by Chantre Kirkland. You'll see the slant route by the inside receiver right here at the bottom of your screen. Watch the ball being put right onto his hands off the slant route. Good separation, bang. Ball right on his hands. Should have caught that ball, pulled it into his body, allowed Wossman to knock it out of his hands.
Fake, and then a keeper by Aldontre. He'll go straight, by Kirkland, and he'll keep it and go straight up the middle for a 1st down and a big gain. I was thinking just a moment ago on Aldontre Davis's drop, and boy, he's picking up the pace a little bit now. We'll talk about Aldontre in just a moment, but you're looking at this Bulldog team picking up the pace offensively a little bit. Aldontre again fakes it. Kirkland again fakes it, and he'll go up the middle again. So that play has worked 2 times for good yardage down to the 25-yard line of Wossman.
Faking the sweep, keeping the ball up inside off of zone blocking by the offensive lineman. Chantre Kirkland using his legs to pick up valuable yardage for the Bulldogs.
Dog to play 2nd and 4.
The market just inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. He's been faking to Devon Adams and keeping. This time the give is to Devon Adams. Fools nobody. He is spun down quickly and dropped. And a fine defensive play.
3rd and 7.
I think that was Jalen Jones that time. Couldn't really tell off of the jerseys right there. Comes from his linebacker position on the isolation play by Lutcher and makes a tackle in the backfield.
Well, we're seeing a jersey number 39. Maybe it's just looking like 39 the way they roll them up sometimes, but there's no 39 on the roster. We'll check it. 3rd down 7 for Lutcher. Kirkland back in the pocket to throw, and he'll throw incomplete. Good coverage. It was intended for Aldontre Davis, covered very well by Keldrick Ward.
Keldrick Ward out there makes a nice play on the out route. He drives the ball, gets his upfield hand, and knocks the ball away. You'll see it right here on your replay. You get an out route by the intended receiver. And look at this drive right there by this defensive back. You can't play that any better. He drives the ball, knocks the ball away. Great play by Keldrick Davis.
So here we go with 4th down. 4th down 7. Kirkland rolling to the left. He'll throw the short pass. It is caught and then slipping down right by the 20-yard line. That's Jacoby Williams with the catch, and he does have enough for the 1st down.
He just got that 1st down before he slipped. It would have come up short had he not kept his feet and slipped a little bit earlier, but he just slipped right at the line, picks up the 1st down. He was wide open running the flat route, and Chantre Kirkland hits him right on stride for the 1st down.
So the Bulldogs have their own sustained drive going now with 4 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the 1st half. Again, Kirkland with the fake to Adams and the keep up the middle. That's the 3rd time they have used this. Actually, the 4th time on this drive they've used this for a nice gain. This one picks up 6 inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. That fake is working.
Chantre Kirkland is reading the play side linebacker on that sweep fake. If the play side linebacker runs out, he's going to keep the ball up inside off of zone blocking. If the linebacker stays and steps up, he's going to give the ball to the running back on the sweep.
2nd down 4. This time he'll flip it to Aldontre Davis coming around, and Aldontre Davis takes it into the line. He is to the 11-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3.
It's a little toss forward, and the bottom line is if that ball goes on the ground, it's behind the line of scrimmage, so it would be a fumble.
That brings up 3rd down 1. We're down to 3 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the 1st half. 3:15 to play in the 1st half. Lutcher driving, trailing by 2, 9-7.
In the last carry.
Nope, it's Kirkland again. Kirkland, the quarterback keeper, and he just follows his left guard down inside the 10-yard line. He ran right behind Lamar Felton and Raynell Hayes.
Lutcher goes to 20 personnel, 2 backs, no tight ends. Leads the 2 backs up inside for Jontre Kirkland on the quarterback isolation play and picks up the first down. It's 1st and goal for the Bulldogs.
Rondell Mealy has just checked into the game. And yes, he is the son of former LSU great Rondell Mealy. This is junior in the game. He's wearing number 7. He's up to the top of your screen. Here this time they'll give it to Adams. Adams being chased, trying to turn the corner, breaks 1 tackle, but not the second. He was gang tackled. Keldrick Ward, after someone slowed him down, got in there to make the stop and got some help from Antonio Berry.
That was Antonio Berry slowing him down out there. He couldn't get hooked out there on the reach block by the tackle from Lutcher. So he spreads, and what ends up taking place is he turns the play back in, does a great job stretching the play and setting the edge. I guess his cramp is better.
Yeah, I'd say so. 2nd down and goal, timeout called. We're going to keep it right here because we have 2:08 to play in the half. Wossman protecting a 2-point lead, 9-7 over Lutcher. It's been a whale of a game, and let's talk about what Lutcher may be trying to do, because not only are they working against the Wossman defense, they're working against the clock.
Well, they're working against the clock, but it's to their favor and in a little bit forcing Wossman to take that timeout right there to try to slow things down, allows Lutcher to come to the sideline, talk about what they want to do, and also what ends up taking place, it allows them with the 2:08 left on the clock to kind of dictate what they're going to do now in these next set of plays inside the red zone. You can see a good look right there on the replay. You can see Berry getting out there and turning that play, and boy, is he athletic. He runs so well. He runs like a defensive back playing defensive line.
Got to catch you up on some scores. They're getting ready to play. We just got an update on some, and I'll give you a couple of quick ones here where Rummel leads John Curtis 13-7 in the first quarter. Second quarter, Evangel Christian 7, St. Paul's nothing. That's being played in Covington. All right, so here we go.
078-384.
2nd down, 2nd and goal.
384.
Kirkland at quarterback takes the snap. Throw it to the left, throws on the run. He's got a man wide open. That's Clayton. Clayton makes a dive for the pylon. He is in there. Touchdown. He got it. Greg Clayton on the toss.
A
13 yards from Jontre Kirkland.
13-yard pass
was running for the pylon and hit it before going out of bounds. Touchdown, Lutcher Bulldogs with 2:01 remaining in the half.
078-384. Black and white, red and white ticket, 078-384. Worth $714.
Alec Bland coming in to attempt the point after.
Ticket number 078-384.
And there's a flag. Somebody jumped too early. I believe. Was there movement on the Lutcher side, or did somebody jump too quickly on the Wossman side?
Well, let's find out. There we go.
There we go.
Offsides, Wossman. They permeate the line of scrimmage real fast. They're going to stop the play quickly, and they're going to move the ball half the distance to the goal line.
Just like last year, Brother Martin and Catholic meet again in the second round. Brother Martin leading 8-0 in the second quarter. The team that I think is the sleeper in this whole thing, St. Augustine from New Orleans and Scotlandville, no score second quarter. Jumped again.
Tonight's 50-50 ticket.
Yesterday, West Monroe beat Ouachita Parish 61-21. Barb and St. Amant, no score first quarter. Zachary leads East Ascension 22-0 in the second quarter. Acadiana leading Ponchatoula. This one being played in Ponchatoula, 21-14.
Early in the year, Ponchatoula beat Acadiana at Acadiana.
And they also met last year in this second round, so this is a replay of that playoff game, like this Lutcher Wossman game happening again this year after 1 year ago. Salford 28. Landry Walker beat Salford 50-28 yesterday. Second quarter, Hanville leading John Ehret 14-7. Wonder how many Anthony Puka Williams has for the Hanville, how many yards he has for the Hanville Tigers in that one. And here is your point after. Finally gets kicked up, and it is good. 2:01 to play in this first half, 14-9. Lutcher with the lead over Wossman. We're going to take a quick break and be back in about 1 minute. This is Prep Football, sponsored by First NBC Bank on SportsNOLA.com. Ken Berthelot, Wayde Keiser, we are back. 2:01 to play in the first half, 14-9. Lutcher has just retaken the lead over Wossman. It has seesawed back and forth. Wossman went up 6-0, then trailed 7-6 after they had missed the extra point, took the lead 9-7 on a 30-yard field goal, and now Lutcher has just used a long sustained drive to take a 14-9 lead in this one. And we've got a little razzle-dazzle. Here is the toss back. And look at this, a little room on the far side. Here goes Peanut on the far side. Jatarius Turpin flags are thrown, and they'll have to sort this one out. This little man can do a lot. He's got 700-plus all-purpose yards for Wossman and is the cousin of TCU star wide receiver Kevontre Turpin.
Well, I think what we're going to see, you can pick it up right there, was the block in the back by Wossman right at about the 25-yard line. I think you're going to see that call from our official.
Illegal block in the back.
Block in the back by Wossman. It'll move it back 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Now they call Turpin the spark plug, and that's one of the reasons why. He can ignite excitement and momentum for this Wossman offense and do it quickly with big plays like that. Runs in the family. Kevontre Turpin up at TCU does the same thing. We're down to under 2 minutes to play in the half, the first half. 1 minute, 50 seconds. And again, Wossman has an explosive offense. So though they have a long way to go, they're 90 yards away from pay dirt. They have the offense that is explosive enough to make things happen very quickly. Zach Smith frustrated they didn't snap the football and the play clock ran down.
I think they're going to get the center for illegal motion. I think he picked the ball up and put it back down, Ken. You can't do that. Can't lift the ball, set the ball back down. You're going to get a call from the umpire like he did right there. They're going to mark it off 5 yards for illegal procedure. So now they're way behind the sticks. First and a long, long way for a first down.
Yep. Now back at their own 5-yard line, as you said, 95 yards away. Smith on a keeper. He'll just turn it in. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
Lutcher needs to think about using a timeout here to stop the clock, possibly getting the ball back and
they have two.
Trying to stick it in. They have 2 timeouts left with 1:33 left.
Yeah, 2 timeouts left with 1:30 clock. Now they took it. Somebody just signaled. Let's see if it is Lutcher. Then I'd imagine that it would. Well, wait a minute. We've also got I'm not sure what that was about.
Timeout, Bulldogs.
I think the Lutcher did take their timeout, stops the clock. They'll have 1 left. Smart move right there. If Wossman runs the football again, they need to call and use their second timeout so they know they're going to get a chance to get the ball back for sure.
They actually let about 5 seconds, maybe 7 seconds, tick off the clock that didn't have to tick off.
50 tickets tonight.
Oh, while that's going on, let's give you a few more score updates.
7-8.
Edna Carr leading Leeville 21-0 in the second quarter. Mandeville leading Destrehan 7-2 in the second quarter. Benton and Rain tied at 7 second quarter. Plaquemine 27, Woodlawn Shreveport nothing second quarter. McDonough 35 leads North DeSoto 20-0 in the second quarter. Warren Easton trailing Tioga 3-0. That's first quarter. And Karen Crow and Laranger tied at 7 in the second quarter. Neville leads Assumption 10-0 in the second quarter. All right, so here we go. Let's see how quickly Lutcher can call a timeout if they can stop Zach
Mr.
Smith.
Rondell Bealey wins that
He'll fake the
50-50
handoff, keep
tonight.
himself, looking for some room, and maybe gets 2 yards to the 7-yard line. 124, 122, 121. Finally, the timeout called.
Smart move right there. Lutcher uses their third timeout to stop the clock to ensure that they're going to get the ball back.
With 121
Zach Smith
to play in the first
on the
half.
keeper. Timeout Bulldogs.
Well, it's going to be third down, so you're going to probably get a run off of the clock on the next play, and then they're going to get a chance probably with just around maybe 45, 50 seconds left on the clock for them to try to get the ball into scoring position, whether it's field goal or trying to get into the end zone. And a lot of things can happen with Jontre Kirkland at your quarterback.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with his arm and his ability to avoid the rush.
A few more scores here. Neville leading Assumption 10-0 in the second quarter for the people watching our stream up in the Monroe area and the Arklamis. Parkview Baptist leading Turlings Catholic 14-7. Lusher Charter and De La Salle, the Cavaliers of De La Salle, one of the better teams in the state this year, 14-0 over Lusher. St. Thomas More 14, Edie White nothing in the first quarter. University Lab 7, Loyola Prep nothing first quarter. Peabody and Iowa scoreless, and that is being delayed probably by weather. All right, here we go. Third down, 13. 1:21 to play in the half. Look at this hole. And right to the 19-yard line. That's going to be very close, and I think just short of a first down by a yard, maybe 2 yards. Let's see where they mark it. It's going to be 2 yards short of a first down, so that'll bring up fourth down. Clock is ticking. 105, 104, 103 in the first half. And as you said, Wade, now you're going to get the play clock, which is now at 15 seconds, and the game clock at 52 seconds. You're going to get a rundown all the way. They may just take they have one timeout to call.
They'll use their timeout.
They'll use their last timeout.
Yeah, they do not want to take a delay of game penalty because you're playing with field position here. So they'll call the timeout like they just did, and then they'll punt the ball.
So Wossman called timeout with 1 second on the play clock, 38 seconds on the game clock. And after the punt, that's how much time Mr. Jontre Kirkland and Aldontre Davis and company will have to try to do something. Both teams very impressive in the first half. 1 touchdown, a field goal, and of course the missed extra point for Wossman. 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points for the Lutcher Bulldogs. And while we wait for this, let's see if we can update you on yet a few more scores here. South Beauregard trails Amite 14-7 in the second quarter. These are all second quarter scores. Brusley trailing Jennings 14-12. Jennings with the lead there. North Webster Kaplan no score. And you know the Carroll Marksville score. Marksville won that game 38-22, and the winner of this game tonight plays Marksville next week. They would definitely come to Lutcher, and we're not sure if they would have to go to Wossman or Wossman would have to go to Marksville. Big rush, and he just got it off. Just got it off. Their catch called for.
Lutcher came after the block, and they just closely almost got the punt. You'll see it on the replay right here. Here comes the rush right up the center.
Dogs will play 1st and 10 from the Wildcat 47.
Woo, real close right there. They're lucky they didn't get a piece of the punter, which would have given Wossman the first down.
But here's what we've got, 30 seconds, so that took just a few seconds to get that punt kicked. And now the Bulldogs have the football. The officials still talking about that play.
They're discussing the spot, I believe, off of the fair catch to make sure that they have it in the right spot. They don't have the availability to go to a camera and check and make sure. And then they're going to also check the clock because there's a possibility that too much time ran off the clock. So they're going to, looks like they might put 4 seconds back on that clock.
Well, the clock, they've got to do something with the clock because right now the clock's saying 3.4 seconds. Instead of 34 seconds. All right, now they just reset it to 34 seconds. Somehow 34 seconds had become 3.4 seconds, but nobody was getting upset about it.
Well, they were going to get the spot right with the ball at the 47-yard line, and they were going to put 4 seconds back on the clock that inadvertently ran off.
Watch Kirkland. He's dangerous. He gets bumped into, holds onto the football, finds a man, and then the catch is made at the 30-yard line. They're waving it off now, saying no, saying that the catch was not made by Tyreek Belvin.
Ball hits the ground. Ball hits the ground. Belvin just couldn't get his hands under it to scoop up the ball from John Terry Kirkland. Kirkland sprints out to his right, avoids the rush. Watch him get jostled around like a pinball right here. Gets out of it, throws the ball right down to the boundary, but it's just through the hands of the receiver, goes onto the ground. He traps the ball. They tell him incomplete, bringing up second down.
Only 6 seconds ticked off the clock there, so we're down to 27 seconds to play in the half. Second down 10. Kirkland on the move, Kirkland on the toss. This one's caught and going out of bounds on the far side at about the 32-yard line is Clayton. Clayton just ran that sideline pattern, made the cut, and was wide open.
A lot of room given by Wossman over there on the boundary. You wanted to play it a little bit tighter when you're in this type of situation. You can see Kirkland sprints to his right, sees Clayton on the boundary. Nicely thrown strike. Nobody around for yards in a white jersey, and he just steps out of bounds to stop the clock. Got to play that a little bit tighter on the boundary. You want to leave the center of the field open, let the boundary become the 12th player.
That took 5 seconds, too, so now we're down to 22 seconds to play. First and 10 at the 31 of Wossman, and we've got a penalty here.
You're going to get an illegal procedure call against the Lutcher Bulldogs, which are going to negate some of that big pickup and bring it back 5 yards, and it'll be first down and 15. You don't want to have that when you're in a 2-minute or hurry-up offense.
The only good news for Lutcher is it didn't take any time off the clock.
15 from the 36-yard line.
Well, it did actually. 1 second, down to 21 seconds now. So here's your snap. Kirkland's got a lot of room if he wants it. He's going to throw long into the end zone. It's a jump ball, and this one is picked off. Picked off. They don't have to run it back. And wisely, he's going to take it. Well, the official blew a whistle.
You're going to have to blow the whistle because the ball is a turnover in the end zone.
And wait, now he's starting to run.
No,
he can't. Here's a flag. Hold on.
That can't take place.
A little confusion. All right, Coach, you need to explain this one to everybody.
It's caught in the end zone. You're not going to be able to run it out of the end zone in Federation. Here's the ball thrown deep into the back of the end zone. Great pickoff right here by the Wossman defender. He can't go anywhere. He can't bring it back out. The ball is dead when it is a turnover inside the end zone.
Picked off by Zach Smith.
It should be out at the 20-yard line. That should be the call.
1.8 seconds. And I think Wossman, hey, you know what? Wossman could, with Zach Smith in the arm that he has, they could just decide they want to throw a Hail Mary down there. So Zach Smith with the pick.
Still trying to figure out what's going on. Ball should come back to the 20-yard line. Picking up the flag. There should be no flag as it's waved off. The ball is dead. It's picked off in the end zone. It broke the plane of the end zone. The team B, which is on defense, catches the ball. You cannot bring it out of the end zone. That is a Federation rule. This isn't college and this isn't the pros. It's a safety rule, so that way players don't get hurt on the turnovers or the ball when it breaks and goes inside the end zone. It's been around for years. That's just the way the rule is in high school football.
Look at the bottom of your screen at the 30-yard line. That's what the officials are discussing and reminding Dwayne Jenkins, the Lutcher coach.
Well, Dwayne Jenkins, I think, knew the rule. I don't think the coaches over at Wossman knew the rule because they're yelling for their kid to come out and bring it out the end zone and run. All of the Lutcher kids stopped because they knew that the ball was dead. So all of a sudden they see
Zach Smith.
Yeah, they see him running in the jersey, the white jersey. What does Lutcher do? They chase after him to tackle him. So what do? They throw the flag. All of it should be picked up, waved off, goes back to the 20-yard line.
Which is what happened, and the officials got it right, and they'll take a knee. Zach Smith will take a knee after taking the pick, and we are at halftime. 14-9 at halftime in what's been a great playoff game here at the Dog Pond in Lutcher, Louisiana. Ken Berthelot and Wayde Keiser. Let's take a break. We're going to come back in about 2 minutes, and we will have a recap of the scoring. We'll have a recap of the first half, and also we've got all the scores for you from around the playoffs, around the state. We've got everything right here at halftime for you. Don't go away. We're going to have some fun. Terrence Jones, former Lutcher and Tulane Green Wave quarterback, will stop by to say hello and give us his thoughts on this football game. So we will take a break and be back in just a few minutes. Back in 2 minutes. All right, we're back at the Dog Pond. Ken Berthelot, Wayde Keiser, along with our producer, Chip Merritt, and photographer, Nat Collins. And our SportsNOLA stream of this Wossman at Lutcher game presented by First NBC Bank here in New Orleans, the New Orleans area, and all of Louisiana. And Wayde Keiser, before we recap the scoring, give us your thoughts on the first half.
Well, it's an outstanding offensive display by some outstanding athletes. But from the Lutcher Bulldogs standpoint, it's the Jontre Kirkland show with all of the run-pass options and zone reads and quarterback ISOs. He is that X factor for Lutcher back there. And then from the Wossman standpoint, I tell you what, the running back, Mr. Jarrett Johnson, who runs the inside zone real well, does a great job exploding through there, and he's doing this because it's a physical game up front right now being controlled by the Wossman Wildcat offensive line. So I know what they're going to talk about when they get inside in there. Continue pounding the ball at them. They're a much bigger offensive line, the Wossman Wildcats are, than the Lutcher defensive line. So you're seeing a great display of athletic ability on both sides of the ball so far tonight.
We look at the scoring, and Wossman, or the opening, or the coin toss was won by Lutcher, and they deferred, so they'll have the football to start the second half. So they kicked off to Wossman, who picked up a couple of first downs and had to punt the ball away. Lutcher had it. Then on a pass from Jontre Kirkland to Tyreek Belvin, he went up high to catch it, got it. Boy, he was just banged into, dropped the football, and a big scoop and score touchdown by linebacker Jalen Jones of Wossman, and he took it in for the score. They missed the extra point. It was 6-0 with 6:23 to play in the first. Then Lutcher came right back. They had a great long kickoff return by Tyreek Belvin, maybe making up for that fumble and scoop and score that he gave up. Wasn't his fault because he had gone up so high and got hit coming down with the football. But he put the ball on the deep into Wossman territory, and it didn't take Lutcher long to score on a pass to Jacoby Williams, and it was 7-6 with the extra point with 2:22 to play in the first quarter. Lutcher had their first lead of the night. We get into the second quarter, Lutcher with the football, and Wossman actually with the football on the ensuing kickoff. And as we got to the end of the first quarter, going into the second quarter, it was 4th and 1 for Wossman, and they did a series of substitutions. And as they were moving punt teams on and off the field and substituting players, Lutcher was trying to substitute personnel and got an illegal substitution penalty on 4th and 1 for Wossman, and it kept the drive alive. So Wossman started the second quarter with a fresh set of downs that kept that drive alive, and they went down and eventually scored on that Well, they scored on a 30-yard field goal. And that was kicked by Nick Traylor. Had no problems driving it through, and it was 9-7. So by keeping that drive alive, Wossman got some points out of it with 6:51 to play in the first half. Ensuing drive, Lutcher comes down, and they just take it down the field methodically, slowly, and score on a 13-yard strike to Clayton. Jean-Trey Kirkland to Gregory Clayton, and it's 14-9, and that's how the first half would end up. That last touchdown came with 2:01 to play in the first half, and that's where we are right now, 14-9. Lutcher with the lead, and Lutcher will have the football. So, you know, you talked about what Wossman would have to do and what they would probably talk about and do in the second half. What do you think Lutcher will be talking about in their halftime locker room?
I think they're going to have to make some adjustments defensively. They just can't sit and play toe-to-toe up front versus Wossman's much larger offensive line. Lutcher is giving up a lot of weight on their defensive line. They're going to have to be able to move a little bit, slant, twist, somehow confuse this large Wossman offensive line to be able to gain some sort of defensive advantage. If they don't, controlling the clock, controlling the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage will be Jarrett Johnson and Zach Smith the rest of the evening for Wossman, who has not turned the ball over.
Let's go over a couple of scores from around the playoff league. We'll talk about again how these teams going here. Couple of scores we want to look at in the second quarter. Archbishop Rummel leading John Curtis 13-12. Evangel Christian and St. Paul's are tied at halftime, 7-7. At halftime, Brother Martin leads Catholic of Baton Rouge 14-0, and that's a repeat of last year's playoff game in this round. St. Augustine and Scotlandville are tied at 7 in the second quarter. Yesterday, West Monroe defeated Ouachita Parish 61-21. After one quarter, St. Amant leads Barb 6-0. Zachary leading East Ascension 22-0 in the second quarter. In the second quarter, Acadiana leading Ponchatoula 21-14, and Wade talked about that one. So big game there in Ponchatoula tonight. Parkway and Central of Baton Rouge are tied at 7 in the second quarter. Sulphur lost to Landry Walker. Landry Walker winning that one. That's yesterday's score, 50-28. In the second quarter, Hanville is leading John Ehret 14-13. Tight one being played in Hanville tonight. Mandeville leads Destrehan 14-2. Does that surprise you any?
Yes, that surprises me a lot. That's a big one. It's tough to go on the road in Mandeville on the North Shore and win over there. And I know Steve Robichaux told me this week that he was very concerned about the way his defense has been playing, and he knew he was going on the road. It was going to be a tough one.
Edna Carr in the second quarter leads Leesville 21-0. Carr, such an explosive offensive team that most people think will be in the Superdome in a couple of weeks. Benton leading Rain at half 14-7. Second quarter, Plaquemine 27, Woodlawn Shreveport nothing. McDonough 35 leading North DeSoto 20-0 in the second quarter. Warren Easton 7, Tioga 3 at the end of 1. 8-8, a tie with Minden and Livonia in the second quarter. Carencro leading Loranger 14-7 in the second quarter at the half. Neville leading Assumption 24-0. Parkview Baptist leading Turling Catholic 17-7 in the second quarter. De La Salle leading Lusher Charter 28-0 in the second quarter. St. Thomas More leading E.D. White 35-0 in the second quarter. At the half, University Lab 14, Loyola Prep 7. Peabody and Iowa delayed by weather, no score. They meet 27, Beauregard 7 in the second quarter. Jennings trailing Bruisley 20-14 in the second quarter. North Walker and Kaplan, no score second quarter. Wossman trailing, well, it's here. Lutcher in 14-9. Lutcher at the half. We have Marksville, and that was a game yesterday. Marksville, by beating Carroll, plays the winner of this Wossman-Lutcher game. Gina leading Northwest in the second quarter, 7-0. West Feliciana leading ERAF at halftime, 21-0. Notre Dame leading Metairie Park Country Day 17-7 in the second quarter. St. Charles Catholic leading Calvary Baptist 7-0 at halftime. Catholic New Iberia Newman 14 in the second quarter. Yesterday, Riverside defeated Ouachita Christian 48-17. Madison Prep leads Mangum 20-0 at the half. Faraday and Laurelville tied at half 6-6. DeQuincy and St. Helena tied 0-0 in the second. Rayville 14, Welsh 0 in the second quarter. Sterlington 48, Pickering 20. That's a final. That was yesterday. And then no score in the Pine Kinder game and the South Plaquemine West Monroe game. I'm sorry, not West Monroe, West St. John, Manny St. Mary's. Manny's leading West St. Mary's 21-0. Cedar Creek at halftime leading Covenant Christian 21-0. Ascension Catholic trailing Southern Lab 20-13 at the half. At half, Central Catholic 28, Westminster Christian 13. Ascension Episcopal 27, St. Frederick's 14. And Logansport leads Lincoln Prep 28-0 second quarter. Gornado leading Elton 30-0 in the second quarter. Arcadia 6, White Castle 0 first quarter. Kentwood defeated Delta Charter 46-0. Plain dealing, no score with Oberlin. Oak Grove 61, Delhi 8. That was yesterday. Delhi Charter 24, East Beauregard 0. And the final score we've got for you, Haynesville 21, Lake Charles College Prep 0. That's at the end of the second quarter. Let's get Terrence Jones on the headset for just a moment. And Terrence, always nice to have you here with us. You were a quarterback at Lutcher, recruited by Mac Brown when he was on the Barry Switzer staff at Oklahoma. And I think Barry made sure that you were his gift when he took over as the head coach at Tulane. He took you to Tulane and turned that program around, and in 3 years left with a winning record 6-5. That was, I think, your junior year.
Yes.
And just glad to have you with us at halftime.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Before we talk a little bit about you, get your thoughts on this game. Tell me a little bit about the Lutcher, what you see on the Lutcher side and what you see on the Wossman side.
Well, I think this game started out pretty evenly matched in terms of on the football field. At this stage of the game, at this stage of the season, you have both teams who vying to go to the next round. Being at home, I thought we would come out with more excitement and more explosiveness. But again, you got to give it to the other team. They come to play as well. John Trey made some good plays tonight, Lutcher quarterback. He had to make some good plays tonight, and he came through, hit one guy in the end zone. That's why we have 14. Scored now 14-6. 14-6.
So, 9, I'm sorry, 14-9.
Yeah. So overall, I think right now it's an evenly matched game in terms of momentum. We got to come out in the second half and really put this game away.
For our fans that are listening and watching tonight in the Arklamiss area, up in the Monroe area, the Ruston area, and all around the country tonight on our national stream, talk a little bit about what you see in Zach Smith as a quarterback, because you have to really be impressed with this young man, the Wossman quarterback.
Well, and he got the size. Well, the offense that they're running, the spread, and those type of offenses, you need the type of ability that he has. He's mobile. He gets outside of the pocket. Once he gets out of the pocket, gets to the second level, it's hard for defenses to contain him. And I think his mobility is allowing them to keep themselves in the football game.
So if you're Wossman, what do you want to do in the second half?
Well, come out again as they did last half, and just play a consistent football. Watch John Trey, watch the mobility that he has, watch our receivers, but at the same time, just play disciplined football, because we have explosive football players on the other side of football.
We're talking with Terrence Jones, former Tulane quarterback who starred here at Lutcher. So what do you think Lutcher will do now in the second half? What did they just talk about in the locker room?
Well, I think they need to come out and put this game away. They have the talent to do so. Get away from the trick plays and just come out and play Lutcher football and go back to the drawing board. Utilize what they have. They have great talent on the outside. They have great talent on the inside. Help John Trey pick out some patterns and let him hit the receivers, because they're all open, and we just have to put them in position.
You know what I like to see? I like to see guys like you come back. Tell people what you're doing now for a living.
Well, right now I have my own nonprofit. It's a youth program. It's called The Locker Room. Been having that for about 3 years now, and it's teaching. We're looking at administration, athletic, social, academic, all social enhancement. It's a mentoring organization. So we gear towards 7th graders through 12th graders, as well as up to your freshman year in college. Doing that, also doing a little consulting with industry and the community. So keeping busy with that and training quarterbacks as well during my off time.
See, I love to see you, Terrence Jones. You're volunteer coaching. You look over at the Wossman sideline. They've got Greg James, who played at Louisiana Monroe, ULM. He led the nation there in interceptions at one point with 14. You have Desmond Leonard, who played at Grambling, two-time All-American there. And I love to see guys who made it big, like yourself, like those two. Of course, they've got a couple of other players there, too. But I love to see that because you come back, and when you train a quarterback or they work with teams, they know you've been there, and they know you care about them, and they know if you can do it, you guys teach them that they can do it too. And I applaud you and those guys on the Wossman staff and the other people on the Lutcher staff who give their time back to these young men.
Well, it's nothing. You cannot replace experience. And if you haven't played a particular position on the football team, there's nothing but to replace experience with other than going through that particular experience. Now, as a quarterback specifically, there are some nuances of that position that you just, quite frankly, can't coach. You just have to know. And it's the beauty to have a particular player who's played the position, wide receiver coach, defensive line coach, have a particular coach that played the position who can explain to the player some of the things that they don't see on the chalkboard. And those are nuances that only way you can pick it up is having going through the motion repetitively. And I think these guys have done that. And I think it's one of the reasons why I like to come back and lend my expertise.
Well, Terrence Jones, I want to thank you for visiting with us. We love to have you up here, and you're welcome anytime we're on the air close. If you're around, you come visit and chat with us.
Appreciate you having me, Kenny.
Terrence Jones, Lutcher great, Tulane great. We're glad to have you, and enjoy the rest of the game. Enjoy the second half.
You too as well. Thanks.
All right, that's Terrence Jones, and Lutcher has just come out on the field. By the way, before you take that headset off, when you were playing here at Lutcher, how many times did you bust the big paper thing coming out of the?
Well, actually, I a few times I let some guys get out front because I'm always thinking about the next series, the next play. So, but a few times I went out front. Actually, definitely before the game starts. I always like to lead the pack, so to speak, and come through. It's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling.
They always tell me there's one guy who busted through the paper and then slipped. That wasn't you, was
No,
it?
never was. I have good feet.
He always had. He's a quarterback who could scramble and run. That's why Mac Brown loved him when he was at Tulane, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you, Terrence Jones. Appreciate you very much.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All righty. Terrence Jones. Boy, we had some fun broadcasting his games when he was a Tulane Green Wave star years ago with Mac Brown, who I really think brought him as a gift from Barry Switzer when Mac was on the staff at Oklahoma, and wow, just real fun watching him play. And it's always fun to talk to him, as it is to talk with our color commentator, Wayde Keiser, longtime coach. And, man, I tell you, what goes on in that mind sometimes, I'm just glad you're sitting here to be able to explain some of these things from a coaching standpoint. And we'll see if they took your advice and did what you said, because I think you had sound game plans for both of these teams for the second half. Let's see if they do it, Wade.
Well, Wossman's going to have to come out and continue to pound the ball, control the clock. You know, they have the athletic talent to play with Lutcher. The bottom line is they want to try to keep the ball out of Jontre Kirkland's hands. You're pounding the ball. You have the advantage up front. Run that nice running back that you have. Pound him inside. Control the game and make sure you win and try to win the turnover game, because they're up +1 right now.
Well, as we said, Lutcher had won the toss, deferred, so they will get the football to start the second half, and it'll be imperative for the Wossman defense to step up here. Close game. Don't want to fall far behind in a playoff game like this and give somebody an opportunity to just lengthen the lead.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, I've always said the first 3 minutes of the second half are probably the most important part of a football game. One team has to come out right now and make a statement, whether it's offensively or defensively.
Trailer's kick, and a little bit of a hole, but it closes very quickly, and a gang tackle on Tyreek Belvin as he falls backward. They're going to mark him down at the 38-yard line of the Lutcher Bulldogs. He was gang tackled so hard his helmet came off in that pile. Matter of fact, they're going to, they will mark him down at the 38. So at the 38-yard line, 1st and 10. We are underway in the second half. Ken Berthelot, Wayde Keiser, the coach, Chip Merritt, and Nat Collins, our producer and photographer. And we are happy to have you with us, because whenever these two teams get together, it's usually fun and usually close. Wasn't last year, but Wossman's trying to change that this year. First down carry, just testing the middle of that Wossman defense. Kirkland on a keeper for 3 yards to the 41.
Jontre Kirkland again takes it and begins the second half the way he did the first half, running the inside quarterback ISO and power row. There's the kick out. There's a backside guard wrapping around. And there's Jontre Kirkland wrapping up inside and getting up inside for about a 2-3 yard gain.
Kirkland has Adams as the running back on the side of him. Again, pulls it out of Adams' belly and spins into the line himself and is up to the 45-yard line. That'll be 3 yards short of a first down.
These are all designed quarterback runs. That was quarterback counter tray. They pull the backside guard, backside tackle. They get the kick out with the play side guard, and they get to seal the backside tackle up inside on the counter. Quarterback keeps the ball just as a tailback would be.
So if Lutcher is to keep this drive alive, they're going to need 4 yards. They moved it back inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Kirkland will keep. He's in trouble. He is double teamed and dropped in the backfield for a big, big loss.
That was a huge play right there by Antonio Berry, as well as
Jalen Jones.
Jalen Jones. Here's a good look at it again. Right there, all over him, not allowing to get the play going right there, and he's going to take a huge loss right there. Again, they were trying to run the sweep read, reading the play side linebacker to see if he was going to flow with the sweep fake, and that time should have probably been a give to the running back on the sweep.
Well, we talked about the defense for Wossman having to step up, and they did just that. They force a 3 and out, 4th and 10. High snap, good rush, and he gets it off. Just got it off. Fumble right back to one of his own teammates. And here comes, wow, Kobe Young saved the day.
Don't you know they practiced that? Here's a good look at it again. See if we can get the punt right here.
So.
The rush by the punt was applied by Berry. Berry gets close to getting his big paw out on that ball, and then the ball is in the air, and here comes the razzle-dazzle. Whoop, whoop. There we go. They practice. Oh, and they almost had a reverse there, too. It was all one play. Can they practice that this week?
So the officials are discussing
where to go to get a hamburger after the game.
I thought they might have been.
First and 10.
All right, I thought they might have been discussing was that.
No. It was a fumble that was recovered by the same player and advanced forward by player A from the fumble, and that's what that was. So that's where the ball should be marked right there where he was tackled.
Cannot be construed as anything else. And that's the most important thing. First down, Smith. Zach Smith on the roll. Zach Smith just throws it away on the last minute. And is it a catch? Yes, it's a catch at the 45-yard line, but hold everything. I think we have a penalty marker down. It's caught by Turpin, Jatarius Turpin.
There's a question on the play.
Caught right in front of the Lutcher Bulldog bench.
On the coverage.
And the Lutcher coaching staff is making a pretty good argument, but I'm not sure about what.
We got to find out what our call is first. Waiting on Paul LaRosa to give us the indication. An eligible man downfield is going to be the call. What happened was in the scramble,
against the Wildcats.
You're going to have a offensive lineman gets downfield. You might be able to catch it here on the replay. Don't know if you can possibly see it. So the ineligible is downfield. You can see the catch right there on the boundary. So what they're going to do is they're going to mark the ball all the way back to the 40-yard line, and it will be first down again. No.
Bring up first and 18.
I think it's going to be first and I think it's going to be first and 18 again on our
29
setting here, which is going to be a long way from the sticks where you want to be.
And they're going to move it back to the 29-yard line. So that's where they're looking at first down and 18. Smith will hand off to Ellis. Ellis sweeps the end, turns the corner, has room before being run out of bounds. He got the penalty yardage back and a little bit more to boot.
Problem is nobody from Lutcher comes up and sets the edge right there. You got to have a corner or a safety come up in either what they call sky coverage if it's the safety or the corner coverage if it's cloud. Should have been the corner right there. He gets outflanked by the sweep. You can see it right there, and then all of a sudden he just slings him out of bounds. Almost should have gotten a call there with a flag because he kind of took him down out of bounds deep into the yellow sideline there.
An 11-yard gain, got the penalty yardage back and a little bit more, makes it 2nd down and 8 for Wossman. They're at their own 40-yard line. Smith with the toss. It's caught, drop, incomplete pass.
Should have been held on to. They're going to rule it incomplete. That was, I believe, Devontae Ellis right there. He should have caught that ball. It was also a backup quarterback. Ball gets out of his hands. It goes on the ground.
I'm expecting Jatarius Turpin, number 4, if you're watching on the stream, to get a little more active in space. If they can get that ball to him in space, he's the dangerous character for this Wossman Wildcat team.
Well,
they call him the spark plug for that reason.
They got to get back to what has been happening and working well for them in the first half, and that's pounding the ball inside at that undersized Lutcher front.
Jonathan West, very quiet, is at the bottom of your screen. 3rd and 8 at the 40-yard line. Whistles, flag, hold it.
That ball delayed a game
We've
call
got to delay a game call against the Wildcats, so they'll back it up 5 yards, and they'll be back behind the sticks again with 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 13, somewhere in that area.
35.
Only one time did the Wildcats hurt themselves with penalties that stopped the drive. Actually, they were able to keep it going and get some points out of it in the first half. Trailing 14-9, they've got to keep this alive. 9:25 to play 3rd quarter, 9 minutes, 25 seconds. But it's 3rd now and 13. Zach Smith will hand it off. Not much, as it's hard to run up the middle for either one of these offenses, and that time Jared Johnson just had nowhere to go.
Johnson with the carry.
So that'll bring up 4th down and 10 and a punting situation. Remember, your punter is Zach Smith, the quarterback.
For the Wildcats.
Doing a nice job that time up front. The Lutcher defensive front got off of blocks and actually made a nice play and matched up physically with the Wossman offensive line.
Wide receiver Gregory Clayton is back deep at the 30-yard line, waiting for this punt by Zach Smith. Will be punting from his own 27-yard line. Steps into it, and he'll kick it over to the left side to make sure Clayton does not return. And the officials walking up the sideline and will mark it out at the 37-yard line.
Lutcher was in a safe defensive return that time, making sure that there was no fake on. As we know, the quarterback is also the punter. Midfield, good spot for a fake punt. Lutcher was all over that, making sure they were in a safe punt return type of formation.
So 30-yard punt gives Lutcher the ball at their own 32-yard line. Second offensive possession with 8:33 to play 3rd quarter of this second half. Again, here's a Kirkland keeper. Kirkland high stepping at Kirkland, right sideline. He's got the 1st down and a little bit more.
Boy, I tell you what, is he explosive. Here's going to be a good look at again off of the read play. There's the read. There's the counter pull by the backside guard, backside tackle, which creates quarterback counter. Look at him high stepping down that boundary. What a beautiful athlete he is. He looked like a horse going off in the races coming out of the blocks.
I mean, it was just something that was pretty to see. A 27-yard gain gives them the 1st down, and here comes penalty markers all over the field again. So hold everything with this one. He pulls it in, but drops it quick. That was going to be a dead play, even if he'd have caught it.
Illegal procedure called against
We've
the
got
Bulldogs.
illegal procedure against the Bulldogs. We'll back it up 5 yards from the previous spot. They'll be behind the chains. That's not where you want to operate. I keep saying this because it's so important. Teams got to work with inside the orange chains, and when you get behind that, it's going to be able to put you in a situation where you're going to not be able to change your play structure and your play calling schedules.
You know, you're saying that on the wrong mic. Everybody listening agrees with you. You need that PA announcer mic so the coaches can hear you down there and the players can hear you down there. Here's Kirkland, and he'll keep it, gets the penalty yardage back.
Kirkland makes 2 or 3 people miss in the backfield. Once again, it's a design run for Kirkland. What does he do? He says, I'm going to make this guy miss, I'm going to make that guy miss, and I'm going to get the ball back to the original spot to bring up 2nd and 10.
At the 39-yard line, this time he hands it off. Looking for a little running room. Not much to be found by Devon Adams. He'll lose a little bit. Stop made by Jarius Turpin.
Jarius Turpin playing a little offense right there, a little defense right there, coming up from his free safety position and making a nice play.
For the Wildcats.
3rd down 9. You see the Wossman players waving to their fans on the far sideline, asking for a little momentum noise. 7:20 to play, 3rd quarter. This to keep this drive alive on 3rd and 9. Long pass. He's got a man, and it's an incomplete. Looking for a flag, and he's going to get one. He is going to get one. Intended for Clayton, and the coverage was applied by Nick Webb, and Nick might have got a little too much of him.
You're going to see Nick Webb get his left hand onto the back of Clayton. If we can get in our shot here, there's the pass out on the money, and you can see his left hand just on the back, kind of shoving, giving the interference. That's interference in any league right there. They're going to call that anytime it's wide out in the open, and that was called. It will be not an automatic first down, but it does move the chains for the 15 yards, and then it moves the chains and sets up the first down.
At the 25-yard line. Again, I'll say that in high school football, that can be a good penalty. If you think you're beaten and the guy's going to get 6, go ahead and get the interference. Give up the 15. Don't give up the 6. Too much can happen when you're 25 yards out, so that's not a bad penalty by either team, either defensive back, if you think you're beaten. Kirkland, look at him break the tackle. Kirkland, magic. Kirkland to the outside. Kirkland out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Sometimes John Trey Kirkland is just magic.
He gets back up inside. You can see the lead back blocking for him right there. He gets inside. He's got white jerseys all around him. He sidesteps and jump cuts to his right, and he races out to open field, and he runs out of bounds down at the 5-yard line. Boy, is he spectacular, and what an outstanding athlete this young man is.
Dogs to play 1st and goal from the 5.
19-yard gain. Now he's got Jacoby Williams and Adams both in the backfield to serve as blockers. Kirkland, keeper, left side, turns it in, and he is gang tackled and denied the end zone by 3 Wossman defensive players who were there. That was led by Antonio Berry, and he had help from Kadurian, Dugan, and one other defensive player.
Antonio Berry gets off the block as well as the rest of the Wossman defenders. They come up, and I tell you what, great job setting the edge right there by the cornerback, Nick Webb, coming from his cornerback position to turn it into the ensuing inside-out pursuit of the Wildcats.
Jacoby Williams, Devon Adams going to be in that backfield. Williams at a wing. Kirkland, he'll give to Adams. Stood up, his second effort toward the goal line. Did he get in? No, he is down inside the 1-yard line.
Inside the 1-yard line.
Adams is stopped right there by number 32, Charles Ellis, coming from his linebacker position. There's a good stick right there by Ellis. You can see knocking him back, but Ellis holds him up and keeps him inside the field of play, and it will bring up 3rd and goal from inside the 1-yard line.
Kirkland, Adams, Williams. Who gets it in the backfield?
My bet is John Trey Kirkland.
John Trey Kirkland, would he keep it? And I think Wossman's going to have to call a timeout. They don't have enough. The wrong personnel on the field.
They had 12 people on the field.
Yeah, 12 people.
So they call the timeout before they get the illegal participation penalty.
Timeout called with 5:45 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Lutcher leading 14-9 and threatening to widen the lead. Wade, what do you think?
Well, I think John Trey Kirkland's going to get it right here. I mean, you know, he's carried this year for 15 touchdowns rushing, you know, and he is your explosive player in that backfield. He's your best player on that offense. let's put it in your best player's hands, and let's try to get that
Actually,
half a yard.
if you take 2 last week and then 1 passing today, he's accounted for a total of 39 touchdowns this year. Dangerous in the air, dangerous on the ground. John Trey Kirkland. And you're watching 2 good quarterbacks tonight that can really change the complexion of the game quickly. But right now, who do you cover? Clayton's up wide to the right.
And nobody's covering right now.
Yeah, he's wide open. Nobody's covering him.
All
Okay,
right.
quickly, somebody jumps on Clayton up at the top. Kirkland with the snap gives to Jacoby Williams, and he'll dive over the line. Touchdown. Jacoby Williams went over the top and gets the score with 5:41 to play, third quarter.
There you go. Jacoby Williams takes this one and gets a little of the highlight reel. Touchdown Bulldogs on the inside ISO, right over the top. Touchdown Bulldogs.
Jacoby Williams,
Allie Bland.
1 yard. 1 yard TD. And your point after now coming from Alec Bland. Put down, kicked up, and it's good. So with 5:41 to play, third quarter, Lutcher has opened up a 21-9 lead over Wossman.
Here's a good look at its score again. You'll see it's going to be a handoff, inside isolation play. Watch the lead block right here. Bang, steps up, blocks, jumps up and over the pile. Good blocking by the Lutcher offensive line to get their offense on the board again.
Well, interesting now. If you're Wossman, do you change what you're doing offensively? Do you just
No, you're going to have to
stay
come back
with the game plan?
You've got to come back with what you were doing well in the first half, and they really haven't done that yet at the beginning of the third quarter. They got into trouble down there with the penalties and the issues that they had on their very first drive, and they were behind the chains on both of their past 2 series. You can't get behind the chains. You got to pound inside, stay inside the chains, and let's get that running back Jarrett Johnson going again. That will open up your throwing threat from Zach Smith, and you'll get your offense back online and clicking.
Cade Williams will kick it off for the Bulldogs. Deep is Cortez Ewing and Jatarius Turpin. Let's see if they squib this one or send it deep. Turpin and Ewing have had some explosive returns. It's going to be a high sky kick, and Ewing's got to come way up for it. Spins around, dangerous catch. Goes down quickly before he can get to the 30-yard line. So he's past the 25 up to about the 26-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 27-yard line.
From their 27.
Let's see if they come out and they start pounding the ball again. That's what they need to do. Let's get that offensive line back, controlling the line of scrimmage, stay in front of the chain, stay on some sort of schedule, drive the length of the field, use up some clock, and put a score on the board and try to get this thing back to a 1-score game.
Where has Jonathan West been in this offense? He's a wide receiver, can be used as a running back, and he's been very quiet. I can only remember 1 pass being thrown in his direction. Now we've got somebody about at the quarterback slot, and that's the peanut back there. That is Jatarius Turpin taking the snaps at quarterback. He has done that quite often this year. If it's not Zach Smith, it's usually Turpin taking the snap.
Here's Turpin taking the snap right here. And it's going to get knocked down right there by Brand over there at the defensive line. Boom. Jumps up, makes a very athletic play, and knocks it down. Great play right there for Lutcher Bulldogs.
Brand, a shortstop and a pitcher on the baseball team, knows how to get up. Turpin again. He'll hand it off this time. Jared Johnson. They're trying to pound that ball in, like you said, but they're playing now third and way behind the first down marker. Third down long, 3rd and 8.
That's how important first down is, Ken. You always got to get something to stay inside the sticks on first down. Everybody talks about third down ratio and third down conversions. Well, let me tell you something. Third down relates to first down.
Yeah, 5:05 to play third quarter, and it's really imperative for Wossman to keep this drive alive on 3rd down 8. Here's the peanut. He's in trouble. They've got him. He's in trouble in the backfield. He'll go down and lose a few yards. So Tarius Turpin, they tried him at the quarterback slot. I don't know if they're just giving him a shot back there to try to breathe a little life in the team, or if Smith is hurt, looking for him on the sideline right now, and I don't see him.
Nowhere to go right there. You can see Lutcher getting to Turpin right there with great inside-out pursuit by their defensive line and their linebackers, bringing up a 4th and 8.
Zach Smith seemed to be fine. He was on the sideline. I think that was just a series probably designed for Jatarius Turpin. Didn't go anywhere, and now Smith is in. He's been your quarterback for this entire game except for that series, and he is back to punt. You've got Clayton and Aldontre Davis both back to receive. Gets it off. This one's going to Davis. Watch out, Aldontre Davis is dangerous, but he didn't have enough room to work with on the far side and is pushed out of bounds. As he approaches the 40-yard line, they'll step out at the 42-yard line of the Wossman Wildcats. So, again, great field position by Lutcher.
Lutcher takes over on the Wossman side of the field. Great field position. Again, Wossman gets nothing on their 3rd possession of the second half. And it all starts on first down. If you're behind the sticks on first down, if you're not in front of the first stick on first down, it's going to bring up 3rd and long, and those 3rd and longs are hard to convert.
And you just can't give the opponent who's got the lead this kind of good field position. You've got to flip that field and do something really, really extravagant. Maybe even pull out the old trick play bag sometimes, even though I think it's too early for that. Straight ahead run by Davon Adams, and he'll get a few.
Davon Adams, who's had 70 attempts, 424 yards this year. He's had 7 touchdowns on the season. He averages 6.0 yards a carry. So you combine him with Jonte Kirkland, this running game of Lutcher is extremely potent.
Dogs to play 2nd and 7.
Second down, 7. They're at the Wossman 39-yard line. Here comes some pressure. And boy, they stacked that line. Kirkland on a keeper went away from where most of the extra pressure was coming, and the stop was made by Jalen Jones. Good night for him.
Jalen Jones there, also Charles Ellis, the 2 linebackers from the Wossman Wildcats, do a nice job stepping up on that quarterback design run again and making the tackle on Jonte Kirkland.
Before the game in warm-ups, head coach Dean Smith spends time with his linebackers. They get together, they talk, they warm up together. He's with them as they warm up. He knows the importance of the backers and coaches them. I've got some movement by Lutcher. And this game's getting just a little sloppy. 2:36 to play in the 3rd quarter.
They're going to get Alex Beyer right there for moving a little bit early.
Illegal procedure called against the Bulldogs.
Big 6'3", 215-pound left tackle, number 58, Alex Byers, only a sophomore. Got him caught leaning back on his heels a little bit as Wossman was moving in and out of their blitz look. They like to blitz people inside as well as outside. They're not going to give you the same look every time. They're going to move the linebackers up, move them back to try to get you to pull your chain.
They're doing it right now. Kirkland may be in trouble, flushed out of the pocket. Kirkland gets the pass off, but he had to rush it, and he throws it down into the dirt, and the closest person to it was none other than Zach Smith, the quarterback who plays also as a free safety.
Jalen Jones right there. Jalen Jones right there applying to the pressure coming off of the backside. You can see him coming off the edge. Not a good job by the tackle. He's going to chase down Jonte Kirkland. Kirkland just throws the ball out to an open area right there to get rid of it to avoid the sack. Nice pressure right there brought by Jalen Jones.
Wossman defense did what it had to do. It's forcing a punt on 4th down and 10 with 2 minutes 17 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. Zach Smith himself is back to receive this punt. It's high. It'll bounce, take a right-hand turn, and go out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Let's see where the officials mark it out. They will mark it out right at the 10.
Goes out of bounds.
So now the Wossman offense has an opportunity to close the gap a little bit.
Well, they're going to have to get something going. They got 90 yards to get to pay dirt. What they're going to have to do, again, is try to get back on schedule. All 3 of their other series have started with something happening bad for them on first down. Let's see if this time they can get in front of the chains, and get something happening positive for them on first down.
All right, Jonathan West comes way down to the bottom side of your screen, and they're going to throw to him, but it's tipped. It's tipped. Batted away, blocked the pass. Who got a hand on it?
Somebody blocks the ball again on first down. They try to, I think that's Ricotta that gets his hand on it. You can see it on the video right here. The replay. Here comes the blitz off the edge, jumps up, knocks the ball down. Nobody's accounting for the blitzer coming off the edge of the screen there, and the ball gets batted down, and then again you're looking at 2nd and 10.
Zach Smith on this series is back at the quarterback slot. He was trying to get West into the offense that time. 2nd and 10. He'll roll, step inside, under pressure, throw, and it is incomplete. Or did he catch it?
It's incomplete.
Incomplete.
The ball was intended for number 15, Samuel. I'm sorry, number 15. Got to get that off the roster because I don't see a fifth. There we go. Was that Jarvis Robertson maybe? Was the intended receiver right there? The ball was dropped. Tell you what, Zach Smith does a nice job evading the blitz again, coming off of his right side that Lutcher left. Right in his face. He steps up, steps around, and delivers the ball. But incomplete, brings up 3rd and long.
Jared Johnson is the blocker for Zach Smith on 3rd down 10. 2:01 to play, 3rd quarter. Keep this drive alive. Wossman has to complete this pass. Drops way back into his own end zone, throws a dangerous pass, which is almost picked off by Dylan Ricotta, and he would have just stepped into the end zone for a score. My goodness.
I tell you what, the Lutcher Bulldog coaching staff is screaming that the ball was intentionally grounded from the back of the end zone. So what that's going to do is that should create a penalty in the end zone and be a safety for the Lutcher Bulldogs.
Oh, there it is.
Give Lutcher 2 points. Wossman will have to be forced to kick off.
Safety, intentional grounding in the end zone.
Left in the 3rd quarter.
You can see a good look at it again. Zach Smith has nowhere. He's flushed from the pocket. He's got nowhere to go, so what does he do? He just throws it out into the middle of nowhere. The only jersey around there were gray jerseys and yellow helmets of the Lutcher Bulldogs, and the penalty takes place in the end zone. So, as per rule, that should be a safety. 2 points for Lutcher. Wossman will have to kick the ball away on a free kick to Lutcher.
See, there was a receiver in the area, but he was about 20 yards downfield coming back to the ball. Now, you could question and say there was a lot of pressure in the end zone. He was up in the air, off balance, and throwing it. If he threw in the direction of the receiver, could that be considered the receiver close enough trying to come back to get that football?
No, he was trying to throw the ball away to avoid the sack. And it's interpreted by the official. Number 1, was there an eligible receiver in the area? No. 2, was he trying to get rid of the ball to avoid the sack and throw the ball to an eligible receiver that wasn't in the area? So wrong on both accounts. What's going to end up taking place is you're going to get the safety. Sorry.
Well, you have to ask, because if you watch the replay, you saw a white jersey coming back to the ball, and granted, it was about 20 yards away from it. So here's the free kick. Picked up by Lutcher. That's going to get great field position again, and the Bulldogs will have it inside the 35-yard line with 1:46 to play in the 3rd quarter, and now a 23-9 lead with the 2 points tacked on for the safety.
How many times tonight has Lutcher taken a kickoff or a punt and ran the ball back to inside Wossman territory and starting in great field position on the Wossman side of the field? That's at least the 3rd one that I can count tonight. Kickoff coverage has been poor. Special teams have been poor for the Wildcats tonight. That's one of the thirds of the game that you've got to be better at this stage of the playoffs.
You know, we were talking about from a Wossman standpoint, Jonathan West not being much of the offense. Now, Dontre Davis hasn't done too much tonight from the Lutcher standpoint either, because, as you said, it's been the John Trey Kirkland show at quarterback who carries it to the 31-yard line.
Well, I mean, he's got a great crew around him that you're going to have to respect and get out there and cover. So what that does is that loosens up your box and allows one of the best athletes in the state of Louisiana to run the ball.
By the way, you knew Lutcher was going to get some pretty good field position. Look at this. They're going to take a shot down the left sideline into the end zone that's just knocked away at the last minute by Jonathan West. Or was that Cortez Ewing? Oh, defensively, but wow, they took the shot. That was West.
That was Jonathan West on that coverage right there. Great job. I like how Lutcher takes a shot at the end zone. Here's a good look at the replay again. You can see Kirkland sets his feet, just lets it go on the fly or go route, and nice play, nice coverage right there by Jonathan West for the Wildcats.
Your free safety back there playing sort of center field to help out in situations like that is Zach Smith, but he was covering someone too. 3rd down 8. Kirkland throws too high.
He let that sail.
Yeah, he just let that one sail too high over the intended receiver, and it came closer to a guy streaking down the sideline, but was underthrown for him. So that's going to bring up 4th down, and I said 8, but 4th and about 7. It's a little closer to 7 yards.
That was really overthrown right there. I mean, that's like me trying to hunt for birds and shooting way off target. It wasn't anywhere in the vicinity.
I notice when you go bird hunting, a lot of the birds come in to feed without too much fear or worry.
They don't have to worry about me. I can't hit the broadside of a barn.
So here's 4th down. They're going for it. Kirkland, he will throw off balance down into the turf, and it is incomplete. And Lutcher will turn it over on downs with 1:05 to play 3rd quarter. 1:05 to play 3rd quarter.
You can see right here, John Trey trying to do a little bit too much here. Low snap. Kind of forces the ball out of there to a covered receiver. It hits the ground, and it's going to force them to punt the ball. Again, you've got the lead. What is it that you've been doing well? It's been running the ball with John Trey Kirkland right there. They don't even do that. No criticism here. You just got to try to stay on plan with what your game plan is, especially when you have this type of lead.
Ellis is now back there as the running back with Zach Smith as your quarterback. He will give to Ellis on 1st down. Ellis loves to sweep the end. Can't turn the corner this time, though, because the Bulldog defense is there to meet him, and he struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage.
You can see the handoff, no place to go.
Zane McCrary.
Great job right there by the Lutcher defense.
No gain.
What they get is great safety support coming up from the secondary to do a great job in the alley to shut down that sweep and try to turn it back inside.
2nd down 11. This might be the last play of this 3rd quarter. We're down to 30 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Smith will hand it off. Ellis again straight ahead. Ellis pushing up past the 35. To the 38-yard line, and we're down to 15 seconds in the 3rd quarter and the clock ticking.
You can see Ellis right here taking the inside handoff on the zone play.
Rowdy Scott.
And I think on our replay that was the play before on the sweep. So what you just saw right there on your live feed was the inside zone play with Jarrett Johnson taking off the inside handoff and pounding it up inside. That's what they've been doing well tonight. That's what they've got to continue to try to do. They still have enough time to do that to get on the board.
All right, we're going to take a break. It's going to be a short one, a 1-minute break after 3 quarters of play here at the Dog Pond in Lutcher, Louisiana at Lutcher High School. The Bulldogs of Lutcher lead the Wildcats of Wossman 23-9. 12 minutes left to play in this one when we come back in 1 minute.
Wildcats will play 3rd and 3 from their 38-yard line.
All right, we're back, and we're ready to start the fourth quarter. Ken Berthelot, Wayde Keiser, the coach, our analyst, along with Chip Merritt, our producer, and Nat Collins, our photographer. And on third down, it's going to be very close to a first down. Kirkland.
Close to the first down.
Zach Smith takes the ball right there and runs the inside lead, and it's going to be real close. They might have to bring that out and measure.
Well, again, with 12 minutes, less than 12 minutes to play in the game, as the officials bring the chains out to measure, this is a drive that Wossman has to keep alive. If they didn't make it, do you think it's too early to say, deep in our own territory, we've got to go for it? No,
you're going to need to punt the ball here, play defense, get a 3 and out, get the ball back with hopefully a field flip position, and plenty enough time to score.
Wow. Well, they got it.
First down.
Game of inches, huh?
Game of inches. Yes, it is. Got it just by the nose on the sticks to create the first down for the Wildcats.
Well, it was important for the Wildcats to keep this drive alive, and they have done so at their own 41-yard line. They are playing the clock, even though we have just started the fourth quarter. You can't afford to fall behind anymore. Right now, it's a 2-score ball game. You've got to get one of them on this drive right here. And that's 2 touchdowns. Touchdown right now and a touchdown 2-point conversion, and field goal still leaves you 1 behind. Pass by Smith, incomplete.
Had nowhere to go with the ball right there. Great coverage by the Bulldogs. What he does is just try to force it out of his hands. You can see the blitz coming off the left-hand corner by the Bulldog defense. Throws it off balance. Ball sails. A little bit more air into that ball. It would have been a pick by a Lutcher defender.
At the 41-yard line, second down and 10. We're not seeing Zach Smith run the football as much as he did in the first half. His handoff, look at that seam, and boy, Ellis busts through it, and what a nice gain past the 45 up to the 47. Going to be a short of the first down, but a nice run, and it'll bring up third down and short yardage at the 47.
Good look at Ellis right here on the inside zone, making a nice jump cut up into the hole and get vertical and puts it to a 3rd and 4. You got to feed those guys. You got to feed Ellis. You got to feed Johnson. That's going to get you back in the game.
Just under 11 minutes to play, 10:55, clock ticking. Now Smith will keep it. Here comes some pressure. Smith trying to find some room, and he goes down to the 50, 1 yard short of the first down. Now, they mark it at the 49, it'll be 2. So you'll be looking at decision time.
Well, you can't go east and west on a north and south field. Sooner or later, you're going to have to put your foot in the ground and get up the field right there. And when he finally did, he's lucky he didn't get that ball stripped away from him. He's hanging it out there like a loaf of bread. It's going to bring up 4th and 1. And like
4th
you said,
and 2. They've actually marked him back at the 49.
4th and 2, and it's going to be a decision right here for the Wildcats.
The ball went down at the 50. Knee went down first at the 49. And he's got to get to the Lutcher 49. So here we go. They're going to call timeout to talk about it. And I can't blame them, as Wossman calls their second timeout of the second half. That'll leave them with 1 remaining timeout with 10:01 to play in this game. Wossman trailing 23-9, and they need 2 yards for a first down to keep this drive alive, because they need 2 touchdowns or a touchdown, and if they don't get a second touchdown, they're going to need a whole lot more. They'll need 3 scores to do it. A couple of updates real quick. Archbishop Rummel leading John Curtis in the third quarter, 20-19. How's that on the rematch? Wow. Evangel Christian, 21. St. Paul, 7. Brother Martin, these are third quarter scores, all third quarter scores. Brother Martin, 28. Catholic Baton Rouge, nothing. St. Augustine over Scotlandville, 20-7. Watch the Purple Knights of St. Augustine. some other ones. St. Amant leading Barb. This is a halftime score, 9-6. Zachary 44, East Ascension 10, third quarter. We'll come back and give you more. Ponchatoula trailing Acadiana. Acadiana 31, Ponchatoula 14 in the fourth quarter. Wow.
When it comes to the playoffs, Acadiana knows how to turn up the notch.
They need 2 yards right here. The Wildcats need 2. Zach Smith calls for the ball, hands it off to Ellis. Ellis has the 2. He has the first down, and he's near the 45-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 46, and that was a big breath-holding play, but Wildcat fans can exhale.
They have 2 backs in the backfield. They'll see the sniffer right up on the line of scrimmage right there. They're going to run a counter play. There's the kick out by the sniffer. There's the wraparound by the guard. When I say the sniffer, it's a running back that is so close that he's sniffing the rear ends of those offensive linemen, usually a blocking back.
But it works.
He's sniffing out the hole, trying to get up in the hole as the lead blocker or the kick out.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line. Here comes some pressure from the right side, but Wossman's running left. And they get a big gain out of it again with Ellis running the right way. Some pressure was coming from the right side, and Ellis took the ball and was running left, and he gets more than 10 and another first down. You can tell Wossman, the Wildcats, playing this series with a sense of purpose.
Ellis takes the ball and bounces the inside zone out to the outside, finds running room, and breaks it up the boundary of Lutcher to pick up a big first down. I tell you what, the gamble paid off going for him on fourth down. Right here, they've got something going.
Watch Jatarius Turpin in the slot to the right. No, this is a Smith keeper all the way, and he'll just dive down across the 30. That's on first down. So he's got a good number there, probably about 4. Let's see where he gets the official mark. Yes, he'll get 4.
Here comes your replay. Smith's going to ram it up inside as a battering ram. You're going to see the kick-out block right here by the back on the end. And you can see Smith is going to follow his lead blocker right there, getting up inside for a nice pickup.
That'll bring up second down. 7. A little bit shorter than 7. Smith has time. Lots of it. He'll throw over the middle, and look at that. Complete at the 20-yard line. And the catch was made by Jarvis Roberson, you're going to see, is going to sit down right in between the linebacker zones right here. And Smith just drills him right in the hands in between the linebackers and picks up the first down. 8.5 to play in this game. Wossman needs a touchdown, and they are driving. Look at Ellis. Delayed, saw the hole, waited for it to open, went through it down to the 15-yard line.
He counters back. He takes a step to the right, follows his blocking back to the left on the counter play, rams it up inside, and that's the way you stay in front of the chains. Now it puts you in a second, and your play sheet is wide open on 2nd and 5.
Yeah,
wide open.
A little bit less than 5. It gives Smith a chance to roll to the right. He's being chased. Smith fakes it, now tucks it under, and is knocked out of bounds. But he got a few. He's down about the 15-yard line.
Busted on the play.
Well, I'll tell you what, the guy that did the great job right there for the Lutcher defense was number 14, Dylan Ricotta, comes up and makes a play on Zach Smith and allows Zach Smith to get knocked out of bounds so he can't pick up the first down. I think there was a penalty on the flag
at the 18-yard line. Oh, wow. Holding wipes out the gain.
That will do it to you. That will do it to you. You're going to pick up holding from the spot of where the flag is lying, and that's 10 yards from that spot. So if the flag was thrown 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it ends up being a 15-yard penalty. If it was thrown 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it would be a 20-yard penalty. That's one of the Federation rules that is really tough to handle. Where the flag is thrown, the penalty is marked off on holding. Brings up second and, what is that, a millennium?
2nd and 18 at the 29-yard line. They need a big play, and they may get it right here. Down to the 20-yard line on the run goes Devontae Ellis.
Same play as 3 before. He runs the inside zone, bounces it out to the outside for a nice pickup. He gets it back to the starting point of the chains. We'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Time is of the essence. 7.5 to play. 7:36, 7:35, 7:34. Wossman needs a score. They need a touchdown on this drive. It's 23-9.
Wossman does need to pick up the tempo a little bit. It seems like they're having a little problem with their communications.
Only one timeout remaining. They've had to call 2. Lutcher fans making some noise for their defense. Here we go on 3rd down 10, 4-down territory. You know it. Here's the pass by Smith right off the fingertips of Jonathan West.
Jonathan West should have caught that ball right there. Puts it right on his fingertips. He would have come down with the ball. You can see the blitz by the Lutcher linebackers coming off the edge right there. Smith steps up, throws the ball, mostly all arm, hits him right in the hands. He needed to come down with that ball. Jonathan West wishes he could have that one back again. But there's a flag on the play, and I think it's roughing the quarterback, and that's going to be a 15-yard penalty. Hello.
So the officials giveth and taketh away all on this drive. Now, West would have made that catch at the 10-yard line and would have had the first down right at the 10.
Right, then you would have probably declined this penalty and gone first down from the 10-yard line. What it does now is it is a personal foul, automatic first down from the 10.
Still from the 10.
Right, 6-1, half a dozen the other.
Yeah. So Wossman playing against the clock and against the Lutcher defense. 7:09 to play in the game. They're at the 10-yard line. 1st and goal. Smith will hand off to the Peanut. The Peanut trying to turn the corner. He's hit at the 6. And Jatarius Turpin stopped.
Well, Peanut doesn't need to get mad right there. What Peanut needs to do is go north and south. He needs to shut his mouth and get back to the huddle is what he needs to do before he draws the penalty. And you can see it right here. It's outside sweep. I'll tell you when he needs to make his cut. Right there. He makes his cut right there. He's in the end zone for 6 because there's nobody from Lutcher coming up and setting the edge. The Lutcher cornerback comes up late to set the edge, but Peanut should have right there stuck his foot in the ground and gone north and south. You can't go east and west on a north and south field.
2nd and goal. Here's Smith. He waits, lets one guy blow past him, and dives inside the 5-yard line down to the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal. We're under 7 minutes to play in the game. 6:48, 6:47, and the clock is ticking.
That was Dylan Ricotta blitzing in there, runs right past Smith. All Smith does is does a little whip to the side and avoids Ricotta and rams it up inside and puts it down inside the 5 for the Wildcats.
3rd and goal.
3rd down goal from the 4-yard line. Who's going to get the call? Turpin. He's out to the right. It's given to Turpin, taken back. Smith trying to turn the corner. He's double teamed out there and denied the 5-yard line. He's thrown for a loss.
Smith on the quarterback.
And that is Preston, and he had some help.
Preston does a nice job coming and setting the edge. Here's again, sooner or later you got to go north and south. You'll see it right here. He pulls the ball out now. Go north and south, and let's take my big body and let's try to run over something in a gray jersey.
3rd and goal from the 8.
You're not going to beat everybody around the edge. It doesn't work that way in football. You run into the 12th player. That 12th player is the boundary, and if somebody is coming up to set the edge, in comes your pursuit, and I tell you what, Lutcher can fly to the ball.
Got to go for it on 4th down. 5:35 to play. Clock still ticking. 5:35 to play, 4th quarter. 4th down. They've got to get it in the end zone. Here's the lob, and it is caught in the end zone, and it's a touchdown. The lob to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for the score, and that was a big-time catch over there. And I believe that was Jared Johnson on the catch. Let me check it. No, that was Stefan Maxwell? Hold on, let me check.
It was a great fade route and a great throw right there by Zach Smith.
See the Keldrick Ward. Check it on replay. Folks, we're going to check this, make sure. Keldrick Ward or Jared Johnson, one of the two.
Well, the thing about it is it was the throw started by throwing the ball at the pylon. Great throw by Smith to lay it out there for his receiver to run under. The defender from Lutcher fell on the ground. Wossman's going to decide to go for 2 here.
The gift to Ellis. Ellis stacked up, won't make it.
2-point extra point conversion.
Ellis stacked up, won't make it. 23-15 now with 5:23 to play.
23, Wossman 15.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was the counter play again that they'd had success earlier on that drive with, and Lutcher brings a blitz inside as well as outside, stacks everything up, no place for him to go that time, and it's going to end up negating the 2-point play with the score of 23-15 going into the last half of the fourth quarter.
It was in that right corner. We're checking to make sure who caught that touchdown pass. We're going to check for you to make sure. It's either Jared Johnson, Keldrick Ward, or Stephon Maxwell. It was one of the 20s, and we didn't have a good angle. And we're going to get it to make absolutely sure. More importantly for Wossman, they got the touchdown. They trailed 23-15, and they're 8 points. No, they're 8 points behind.
It's an 8-point ball game, so they're in this. It's a one-score game where they either score or go for two to tie it up.
First things first, the defense has to do its job.
Lutcher anticipating the onside kick here, Ken. You can see how they got their hands team all lined up.
And they'll just sky kick it right over the hands team, but it goes out of bounds, and that's something right now you can't afford to give great field position to Lutcher at their 35-yard line. Should they choose to take it, they may have you kick over.
Well, I think Lutcher's going to go ahead and take it at the 35-yard line. I think Turpin caught the pass, so it might have been number 4, Jatarius Turpin, who caught the pass on the touchdown for Wossman.
Illegal procedure call against the Wildcats. Bulldogs will play it 1st and 10 from their 35.
Well, the Bulldogs choose to take good field position at the 35-yard line, and let's see if they just try to run out the final 5:23 with an 8-point lead. Cannot afford a mistake. Kirkland, a keeper all the way. He'll just turn the corner and use the body and just ram it through. Flag is down. Hold everything.
Kirkland on the keeper.
You're going to probably get a holding call here on Lutcher.
Holding call against the Bulldogs.
Jontre Kirkland takes the ball and sweeps to his right, but in front of him, one of his blockers decides to grab a hold of a white jersey, and it's going to get called back from the spot of the foul. It'll negate that nice gain by Jontre Kirkland, and it's going to put them way behind the sticks. First down in, like I like to say, a millennium. What was that, first down and 30?
Let's see.
27. 23. First down and 23.
First down and 23. Yeah, back at the 22. First and 23.
So far, I can't even add it up. I never had a play on my sheet for that. First and 23.
Hail Mary. Kirkland, a little high, tipped, intercepted. Coming back the other way, Jonathan West. And if ever Wossman needed a big play, they just got it from defensive back and wide receiver Jonathan West, who plays both ways.
You can see the tip play right here. Oh, my goodness. Look at Jontre Kirkland. Got drilled as he let go of the ball. Blitzing again. Wossman bringing the house on a blitz. And Kirkland gets just devastated as he releases the ball. Ball's tipped into the air by the ensuing receiver, and that allows Jonathan West to come down with the pick, and it puts Wossman in business at the 29-yard line of Lutcher.
Unless I'm missing one, I'm counting that being the third turnover by Lutcher in this game. And remember, last year Wossman had 6. Now Wossman's got it at the 29-yard line of Lutcher. 4 minutes and 49 seconds to play with is all they have. Here's the handoff straight ahead. Lutcher closes the hole very quickly. And there's just not much room for Devontae Ellis to run.
Well, Devontae Ellis picks up half of it. You can see it come inside on the inside zone play. Picks up 4, possibly 5 right here. Gets his pads north and south. I like how he does that. He makes a quick cut, gets his pads north and south, and he's going to be a north-south runner. That's the way you play football from the running back position. Can't play east and west. Got to play north and south.
Especially with 4:22 remaining in this game. Second down, a little bit more than 5. A short 6. Zach Smith at quarterback. This is a keeper for him all the way. He'll just turn. There's your north-south run, coach. And he is inside the 20. And that's what Wossman needed, and they got it.
Did you see how
the first down?
Did you see how he put his foot on the ground and he made a north-south cut? It's a quarterback sweep all the way to his right. You can watch him. And now I'm going to make a cut. You saw him probably put his foot in the ground and got north-south. That's what he didn't do in the last series. You're not going to outrun people to the boundary, so let's get my big frame going north and south, and let's play some physical football as a running back, because that's what he was right there, a running back.
Move the chains. Remember, a touchdown and 2-point conversion ties it. 3:45 to play in the game. First down 10. Smith at quarterback. Fakes it to Ellis, keeps it himself.
Zach Smith
Draws a rugby scrum crowd. It got to about the 15-yard line and then was pushed back. Let's see where they give him progress. They'll give him progress to the 16-yard line. Actually, mark it at the 17 now. 3:20, 3:19, 3:18, second down.
You know, this is going to sound kind of crazy, Ken, but Lutcher needs to think about taking one or maybe two of their timeouts. They've got 3 to give right here, because if Wossman scores, they want time on the clock to be able to come back and score. So you need to think about trying to preserve some of your clock from the Lutcher standpoint.
Good point. Smith. Zach Smith. He's got a lot of time. Here comes some pressure. He's hit hard as he throws. It's incomplete. And the closest people to that were a couple of gray jerseyed Lutcher Bulldogs, including Zane McCrary and Colin Wiggins.
Applying the pressure right there. That time was Cade Williamson coming through and really sticking Zach Smith hard. You can see he got stuck just as he released the ball into the air.
Clock stopped, 2:48, 2 minutes 48 seconds to play in the game. We're now looking at third down, so you've got at least to move the chains and get the first down. Third down, 9 at the 16-yard line. So you got to get it to about the the 9. Smith starts to run. It's close. Throws it too high. Intended for West in the end zone. He couldn't get it.
Ball's incomplete in the end zone.
Smith's pass incomplete. He throws off balance. You can see the strength of his arm. He's in the air, off balance, and he just releases a rocket, which goes through everybody in the end zone. He is one strong athlete.
2 minutes and 42 seconds to play. Fourth down and 9 at the 16. Well, 17. 4th and 9 at the 17.
Well, this is it right here, pretty much for Wossman. They're going to have to convert on this 4th and 9.
They only have one timeout remaining.
Right, one timeout remaining. This is crucial that they convert right here.
Clock is stopped. Here they come. They've got the fourth down play. 2:42. They've got to make the first down. Nope.
Clock.
They just get it off in time. Here's the pass over the middle. It's picked off. Picked off at the 5-yard line. We're coming back the other way. Flag on the play. Picked off, I believe that was Williams with the pick. Let's see what the flag's all about.
Zane McCreary on the interception.
Zane McCreary on the interception. Probably some block in the back behind the play. They've got a lot of bodies down on the boundary. They're trying to sort it out now. Looks like there is a Wossman player down. That's number 51. That is down for Wossman, Kevin Metoyer, big offensive lineman. It's going to either be a holding or a block in the back behind the interception.
Well, Wossman has not made many mistakes in this game, but that one right there was very costly with 2:31 remaining. 16. Because now they only have one timeout to play with, and you know Lutcher with one timeout is going to be.
Saw the call right there. He was behind the play, so they're going to back it up from the spot of the foul. That was a hold, I believe. And Lutcher's going to take over at their own 15-yard line with the opportunity to run out the clock. Wossman only has one timeout left.
Kirkland on a keeper. Big hole up the middle. It closes quickly, but he's got a bunch.
They're going to force Wossman to take that timeout here pretty soon. Wossman needs to think about taking it quickly.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him to put the 2-minute warning into college and prep ball. Give everybody that extra timeout. It'll never happen.
It'll never happen in high school because it'll make the game longer. Federation wants to make the game shorter to protect athletes. That's the whole idea behind not having a 2-minute clock in high school football.
After the 7-yard gain, second down, 3 from the 23, and Kirkland just got the first down. So that might put the icing on the cake, and you can kind of see it in the Wossman players. They know that
picks up the first
it's going to be pretty hard to make something happen now. With 1 timeout, 1:46 to play, that pick right there did it.
Well,
and actually there were 4 turnovers because remember for Lutcher, they threw an interception on the last play of the half, which didn't mean a lot. 4 turnovers, and you still pull this one out, and that says a lot about this Lutcher Bulldog team and how good they are.
They pull it out. I'm going to tell you why. A guy named Jontre Kirkland.
Right there, carrying the ball at quarterback. And you can see Wossman trying to strip the football and Kirkland trying to protect it as he gets to the 30-yard line. 1:16, 1:15. Again, 1 timeout remaining by Wossman. Let's see if they call it right here. Timeout called, and it is a Wildcat timeout. That's their final timeout of the game. 1 minute, 13 seconds to play. All they can hope for now is a strip or a forced turnover.
Well, you've got second down. Lutcher will probably run the ball one more time, and depending on where they are with the first down, they can kneel it out.
So if Lutcher holds on to win this game and Marksville winning yesterday over Carroll, Marksville would come here next week?
Yes, that's the way it should be.
Fourth quarter score, Rummel and John Curtis. Rummel still holding on to a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. Evangel Christian over St. Paul's 28-21 in the fourth. None of these are finals yet. Brother Martin 28, Catholic nothing. St. Augustine holding on to the fourth quarter 20-14 over Scotlandville. I still think they are the sleeper team, the Purple Knights.
Well, I mean, it's...
Acadiana's pulled ahead of Ponchatoula now 30. As a matter of fact, that's over. Acadiana beat Ponchatoula 38-14, folks.
I tell you what, when it comes to playoff time, there is no better team in this state that knows how to turn it up than Acadiana.
Kirkland on first down, runs, won't get much. That was second down, pardon me. Won't get much. Clock running now, and again, Wossman cannot stop it. They have no timeouts remaining. Under a minute to go, 55 seconds, and a player is hurt, so that will stop the clock.
Yes, that will stop the clock. Yes,
you can hear some of the Lutcher fans behind us not real happy about that.
Okay. But yes, it's going to stop the clock, so now Lutcher can't kneel it out. They're going to have to snap it and probably run the football.
Hey, how about this one? John Ehret in the fourth quarter now has taken the lead over Hanville and Anthony Puka Williams, 35-28.
Wow.
Mandeville leading Destrehan now 29-15 in the fourth quarter.
Oh, my goodness.
Carr over Leesville, 55-0. Watch Carr to be in the Superdome.
I'm going to tell you right now, we saw Carr early in the year, and I'll go out on a limb. I think Carr might be the best football team in the New Orleans area.
Yeah, I believe you. Neville beat Assumption 24-0. Had an easy time with that one. Parkview Baptist leading Turlings Catholic easily 32-7 in the fourth. De La Salle rolling over Lusher Charter 56-20 in the fourth. Clock running again, 41-40. Play clock is down to 8 seconds. Bulldogs using most of it. They'll just hand it off, and here's a run, and this will put the icing on the cake with the first down right there.
Well, they run the sweep. Wossman brings the blitz. They bring the sweep outside. It was a good guess by Lutcher to run the sweep, and they busted for the first down. All they'll do is knee it out, and it will be over. Lutcher will advance to the quarterfinal round. You want to be practicing on Thanksgiving week because you are in the quarterfinals, 2 steps away from the dome.
And this says a lot for Coach Wayne Jenkins and this Lutcher Bulldog team. They knew that Wossman was going to come in here knowing what happened last year. Clock is running 13, 12, 11, 10. There's about a half a second delay, so they're going to have to take the snap and take one knee, and that's it. Lutcher is going to win this football game by the score of 23-15. But what a difference from last year as Wossman made a game of it, almost pulled it out. The final score, Lutcher, who will play home and host Marksville next Friday in the quarterfinals
in the quarterfinal round.
And what an exciting game that is expected to be. And we've enjoyed having this one and being here for you. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to take a minute break, come back, wrap this one up, give you a few scores of interest, and then say goodbye. But the final score in this one, as Wossman ends its season, and Coach Dean Smith, good year on this loss, 23-15. They'll finish their season 8-4 on the year. Lutcher with the win, ups their record now to 10-2 on their first year. Head coach Dwayne Jenkins, who is of Lutcher alum, played here, was an offensive coordinator under Tim Detillier, coached at St. James, and then took over this program last year when Detillier won a state championship, his fourth, and then retired. Let's take a 1-minute break, and we will be back to wrap this one up and give you a few final scores in 1 minute.
You ready?
All right, Ken Berthelot, Coach Wayde Keiser, Chip Merritt, and Nat Collins. And we're going to wrap this one up for you, give you a few scores of interest. Wayde, the final score in this one, 23-15. Lutcher holds on to beat Wossman, and really good football game. You hate to see either team lose in a game like this, but one of them has to. And Lutcher, let's give them the credit. They did what they had to do toward the end to win it. Your thoughts on the game?
Well, they give up 4 turnovers, which you would think would sink any ship. But the Jontre Kirkland ship just keeps rolling. This guy is a phenomenal athlete. They use him as a quarterback throwing the football. They use him as another tailback just running the football. It creates a huge dilemma for any defense. How do you defend him? And, Wossman's choice tonight was to try to blitz him hard, and many times it came back to bite him. I thought Wossman kind of got away from their game plan early in the second half by not just pounding the ball right at a smaller Lutcher defensive line. But as it goes, Jontre Kirkland puts his team always in a position to win a football game, and what a great job he did tonight for the Bulldogs.
Without question. As we look at a couple of scores of interest here, John Kerr, you talking about Acadiana knowing how to win in the playoffs when they get there and beating Ponchatoula, eliminating Ponchatoula from the playoffs tonight. What about John Curtis? Rummel was giving them all they could handle, and suddenly in the fourth quarter, you look at the updated score, John Curtis 34, Rummel 20. And
wow.
that's not a final yet. They're in the fourth
Right.
quarter. Now, Evangel beat St. Paul's 28-21, so the Wolves of St. Paul, they're gone. A final, Brother Martin over Catholic Baton Rouge, 28-0. St. Augustine holding on in the fourth quarter over Scotlandville, 20-14. We're just giving you tonight's scores that are close to being over in the fourth quarter here. Final, Zachary 51, East Ascension 17. There's that Acadiana 38, Ponchatoula 14. That is a final. And fourth quarter, how about John Everett over Hanville, 35-28. Can Hanville pull that one out in a little time remaining? Fourth quarter looks like Destrehan may go down. Mandeville 36, Destrehan 22. You said that might be the biggest surprise yet in the core. Of course, 55 over
right.
Leesville, nothing.
Destrehan, a top seed, the first seed in the playoff bracket. And
Mandeville 36-22
well,
in the fourth.
If you look at Destrehan all this year in all of their games, they've struggled a little bit giving up yardage and giving up some points. They've always pulled it out because of an explosive offense and have outscored people. And when you get to the playoffs, somewhere you're going to have to play some defense. And apparently tonight they've struggled again on defense.
Well, that's about all of the finals that we have. And again, because of the win, or with this win by Lutcher, they will host Marksville next Friday night here at the Dog Pond in Lutcher, Louisiana. That's about all we have for you. I don't think we have any other finals. St. Charles Catholic, your old school where you used to coach, 21, Calvary Baptist, nothing. And Newman is trailing Catholic New Iberia 35-14. I think that might be the finals that we have for you tonight, folks. So that's going to wrap it up from here. Any last comments on this one?
Tell you what, it's always great in playoff action, and a great win tonight by the Lutcher Bulldogs. You know, Wossman, I think, has an outstanding team. Many of these guys are going to be returning for Wossman next year, so it's going to be interesting to see how they develop over the next year, too, this young football team. Great win by the Bulldogs tonight, though.
Really was. And, folks, we hope you enjoyed hearing this game as much as we enjoyed bringing this one to you, and want to thank our photographer, Nat Collins, our producer, Chip Merritt, and Coach Wayde Keiser. Always, it's been a lot of fun. Don't know who we'll be doing next week, but I look forward to it. We've got one or two more, but I think before this prep season comes to an end, it's always fun to watch these kids play. So for all of those people, I'm Ken Berthelot, thanking you for being with us. Our final score here again is the Lutcher Bulldogs defeating the Wossman Wildcats by the score of 23-15, holding on in the fourth quarter to get the victory, closing out their season with a 10-2 record. Wossman closes their season out 8-4. And again, Lutcher still in action. They're in the quarterfinals next week as they host Marksville here at Lutcher. That's going to wrap it up from Lutcher, Louisiana and the Dog Pound. Thanks for being with us, folks, and a pleasant good evening to everybody.